Welcome back to United TV. Today we're going to be doing a call-in show, a little bit different to last time. So if you saw last week's, we're going to do something a little bit different to what we normally do. The idea is going to be that we'll start the show. There's a few stories which I put in the description. There's a BALEBA story, a price for that. There's Anderson. There's potentially actually Cunha missing from the Brentford game. There's a Brentford preview as well. So we will get a Brentford fan on at one point as well, we're hoping. And there's also decision about Carrick as well. There's basically a lot to discuss. But the idea is going to be that we have quite strong opinions. I probably speak about 50 hours a week on this anyway. So there's a lot of people that talk a lot on this channel. And this is an option where we will post a link in about sort of 15 minutes. And there will be a link which you put in the chat for people to join. The link isn't there at the moment. I think the link is to socials, but we will post a link in the comments and people can come on, have their say. There are a couple of rules though, because of what happened last week. And I guess there's no angry Arsenal fans, but the idea is going to be you can't come on. It's not a forum to come on and rant and shout. And if that happens, then it'll be a very short call in and we'll move on to the next person. So before we kickstart things, it's good to see you, Isabella. Good to see you, Helgi. It's been a little bit of time. Manchester United, again, we've had a long time since we spoke and there's been no football to discuss, but a bit of transfer rumours, bit of transfer gossip, I suppose. And one of the things which I'll just put a comment up from Yardley saying, I think it's Edison, but Man United seem to have moved on from Anderson already. Not like we really progressed loads with the deal, but it looks like we've not done much and then moved on. How are you guys feeling about the probably crazy amount of players linked? I've lost track of it, but there must be about 20 midfielders. If we can't get three of them, something's going wrong.
First of all, hola, ciao. I'm looking forward to all you guys' opinion and stuff coming on today. And don't be shy. And if you've never gone on before, we won't bite. At least I won't. But I can't speak for Rich. He's a crazy fella. But yeah, I encourage everyone to come on. I know about a year ago it was my first time coming on here, not like that first time. And it can be a bit scary, but
sin bin him now.
Everybody in the chat will be respectful. So I encourage anyone who had never come on before, just come on. We will be nice. So yeah, that's the first. But regarding the midfield, I've been, like you said, it's been a while, or like in our time of space, it's been a while since we've been on, and I've had some reflection time, and I've decided, in August the 31st, September the 1st, we didn't get a midfielder. That's because we're getting a super duper cool midfielder in January. That was kind of the thing in 1st of September. And then 2nd or 3rd September, it came out, no, we are going all out on Anderson in January. So that's why we didn't buy a midfielder. It's because we're buying a super duper cool, awesome midfielder in January. And then January comes, and then it's like, oh, he's super duper expensive, and we don't know about if we are getting Champions League, and with Amorim, we don't know. We'll wait till the summer, and then as summer appears, it's like João Gomez, who is Anderson. And the same thing with when they did the extended time after Amorim got fired. We used 2 weeks to decide for an interim, just so we could prolong the transfer window. And it's because we are getting a super duper cool, like, wow, we are getting the best of the best of the best coaches. So that's why we're taking our time. We're getting an interim. There's no need to rush. We go for Carrick now, because we're going to get the best managers in the world in summer. And we're somehow manipulated to, now we're approaching summer and it's Carrick and João Gomez, kind of. And I'm like, that's been my thought this week, that things go, it's like if you have a kid, you don't like notice him if he's in your house. You don't notice him like gradually growing. But if it's been a while since you've seen him, like it's your nephew or something, it's like, wow, you've grown a lot since the last months. My thing with saying that is, we are so close to the United news every week. So we kind of let ourselves be spun. But imagine if someone went to like the military for 6 months and they come back now. They're like, wait, Carrick? Didn't they say best of the best? Wait, they promised us Anderson for 9 months and now it's Joao Gomez or BALEBA or whatever. So yeah, that was my reflection this week, is that it's just, they are so good to like easing things into me that I've kind of like accepted Carrick, accepted this and that, but it's like they have promised us basically Anderson since September. They basically said they are going to give an interim to Carrick because they are going to take so long time in getting us the best in class, the best managers. And now it's like, he's played 10 good games, so maybe we'll throw all of that up.
Do you know what I found? I know you sound like best in class midfielder. I'll ask which is it better. If I ask people, because I've been regularly doing the stream, I try to cover a different midfielder if possible, based on the news, kind of each day. But I generally, when I say the short list, it's definitely not short. But if you ask 50 people what the best midfield options is, you're going to get 50 different answers. The only thing that's probably true is that most people saw Anderson as maybe ticking all the boxes. You know, he's got the Premier League experience. He's playing quite well at the moment. He's young, and you think, okay, he's going to work. There's lots of things, lots of positives, apart from the price. And also, no one's really kind of assuming that Anderson might well want to play somewhere else. It feels a little bit like this is probably no different to Real Madrid. Real Madrid fans are probably going, why is Tchouaméni not signing a contract? Why have we not got Rodri already? And it's just like there's so many different teams involved. I think it's frustrating, but I think one of the things we haven't talked about is that football season hasn't finished. So Anderson, there's a lot of teams that West Ham haven't been relegated yet, Spurs haven't been relegated yet, Forest don't know about European football. So there's all these different angles that could change the price, could change like how attractive Manchester United is or Liverpool is, or so there's a lot of weird dynamics. And how you feel we deserve better, because we probably didn't start talking about transfers this early last season. Well, maybe we were focusing on Europa League, trying to win that trophy. But
well, after listening to
just like so much going on with like there's still quite a lot of football to be played, a lot of big competitions to be decided.
Well, after listening to Helgi, I'm feeling super duper. That's what
I know motivational speaking is your strong point, Helgi.
I know Helgi made so many, and all his points were valid, and I get it completely. I keep hearing super duper. I love that phrase. I'm going to use that a lot now. Can I just quickly say, Rich, and I know you always do this, and you probably get comments up, but can I say welcome to Stephanie, to Lumen, to Cody, to Jim, to Mickey, to Neil, and to Danny B, and to Berber, and Tobias, and to Tom, and Sadek, and I think that's about it. So yeah, so lovely to see you all. Oh, and to Bilal.
And me.
So yeah, that and to Helgi and to it. And that's the important stuff, really, because you know, these guys are great. They really are.
And Yarli, I think you mentioned.
Yeah,
hopefully you mentioned him as well.
I did. Yeah. Yeah, it's been interesting, and I really kind of get what Helgi's saying, because it's kind of like when you see it slowly, when you're there week in, week out, you're getting fed this, and we're going to do this, and then suddenly we're now going to do this, and then suddenly we're now going to do this, and it's the same with like players, and it's the same like with managers, and I get it, I get the point completely. And you just kind of feel like you're being spun 24/7, and it's kind of like, just be honest with us. If you're not going to sign someone in January, we're old enough to be able to manage that. It's not going to knock us for 6. And if Anderson is far too expensive for you, just say it. Because we're rational people. Because maybe you can get two, and he has said it to a degree. Vival has said that he would get 2 midfielders for the price of a big money spending. So just do that, and just be open and honest. They seem to be. It's almost kind of like they take us all for fools. That they have to keep doing this kind of smoke and mirror scenario. It's been a really interesting week, and it's been great watching your shows this week, Rich, because there's been a plethora. We talked about this plethora of midfielders, and I listened to all the names, and I would quite happily take any of them, to be fair. All the names that have been mentioned, I'd be quite happy. I really hope, I think Anderson may be out of reach, possibly, because there's so much noise about Man City offering him a contract. And it looks like and we've not heard anything about Anderson and us really, but all the noise seems to be there. I want to get a signing in, and I've said during the week, I want to get a Stiller in. I want to get someone like that. I want to get a 40, 45 million player in. I don't want us to go for 70, 80 million, because I think if we start at 45 million, what that does for the other clubs is that we've got one midfielder now. So we're not in that desperate position where we have no midfielders. We've got one in already. We're playing it at 45. So that bodes well for the players that they're looking at 80, 90. Because if we go in for a 70 or 80 million, the ripple effect of that means that other players, other clubs will try and sell their players for the same value, if not more. So I really want us to go in at 40, 45, get a body in. Get a good body in. And the bodies we're talking about are good class players. So get one of those in, get a Stiller, maybe even go for an Agume, 30 million. That's good enough for me. Get the backup in possibly. And then start planning for the others, because the others may take a bit more longer to do. And that's what I hope they do. I think do the deals that are doable. I want 3 midfielders. We've only got Kobe. Casemiro goes, Ugarte is going to get sold. We never had cover for Kobe in the first place. So that's definitely 3 midfielders. And yeah, that's what I hope this week. That's what I really hope for.
Can I just say
I think there was
something
some clarification as well that Ugarte is gone. That was something that was we all knew that. Like we all knew, like you don't have to be an expert on body language or football to realise that Ugarte doesn't suit.
It's good to get it confirmed though from Romano. Like he's 100% leaving. It's like we all know, but I think it's nice to just sometimes kind of know.
Just in the back of your mind, it's Man United. So in the back of your mind, you're thinking,
exactly.
What if they suddenly think, actually, maybe we can transfer? And you go, come on, United. Like you know that he wants. I think he wants to leave, which is probably key because I think he knows that he doesn't really have a future. But I think at the moment he's also a player that in a different league, might have some like value as well. So transfer value wise, that adds into the mix of the pot. I think one thing that which is better said in terms of, when people say, tell us the truth, like if Manchester United pretend they can't spend money when we know that Champions League is an extra 90 plus, you've got revenue, like lots of players leaving the club that are going to be sold, bringing money in. The players that were loaned are going to bring money in. And you made a profit as well.
Yeah. And the squad cost ratio, they've got 180 million headroom. We know the maths have been done. There's another 200 million on top of that if they want to step into the 30 million. There's 100 million from Champions League, and there's going to be another 100 million from selling. So they've got a plethora of money to do. And if they're not spending, they need to be reducing the debt. And I'll be keeping an eye on them.
But like you said, though, there is a thing for. Like not them saying like we don't have money, because that's bullshit, but like you said, if they said kind of we don't want to go for the super expensive one anymore, we want to buy more instead of just a couple of players and use our money well, we will all respect that. But just saying like we are going to get like the best managers in the world and the best players in the world and then hire a Carrick or don't do it, that's where I don't mind, because I don't want us to buy 100 million players anymore. I'm so done with that in where we are now. It's so stupid and pointless. And while you were talking, I was looking up, because you said about the most expensive players and stuff, like you said something about over 70, 80. While you were doing that, because I agreed, I searched up all of our purchases. I asked AI, can you list me all in the last 13 years, all signings over 70 million pounds? And it was only actually 6 or 5, but you want to hear? Anthony. Sancho, Lukaku, Anthony, Maguire, and Pogba. So should we historically... Is that a case for, we should definitely buy super expensive players and put all our eggs in one basket? Or is it maybe a lesson that those are probably some of our worst signings and worst kind of, not that Lukaku was horrible, but we lost a lot of...
No, we sold him for 70. So Lukaku is the exception out of all of those 4 players.
Yeah, but we were lucky that he it coincided with the Euros or something, and he was excellent, so that also kept the kind of price up. But like historically, like it makes no sense for. I feel like if you're buying 80, 90, 100, you have to be one of the best teams in the Champions League or challenging for the title. You have a settled squad and just need you need the Haaland, you need the, like, Arsenal should, instead of buying like Madueke and buying stuff like that, they should have like or Hincapié, or like buy Calafiori, instead of them buying like 30-40 million players like just backup. They imagine if they went and bought like Musiala or something, they would have won the league by now. So I feel like those 100 mil signings is for a team that is almost there and just needs that class player. We aren't there. So yeah, I agree. We should not be. I could push myself to 70 for Tonali, but that's because Italiano and I love him. But other than that, I would want us to keep it. Like, I would love the club to go out and say we won't be buying those expensive. Like, forget about it. If they even said, was quoted, forget about it. Forget about it. I would be like, if they said it publicly.
And I think what United really need to do is act quickly, because if Tonali or Anderson go for the £100 million mark or above, that ripple effect on what other players, the mid-range players, clubs will want, is going to skyrocket. And I think this is maybe the problem that United will face this summer.
Exactly.
Some clubs will be shrewd, and they will say, we're not going to sell till firstly until after the World Cup, because a lot of our players are internationals and they could have a good World Cup. And also, we're not going to sell until Tonali and Anderson go, because that's going to raise the margin that we could get. And just on the BALEBA deal, with BALEBA, the reason Brighton are putting it up at such a high price is that there's a sell-on clause. So when they bought him from Lille have a 15% sell-on clause. So say if they sold him for 70 million, it's a sell-on clause on the profit. They bought him for 23 million. The profit there is 47 million. 15% of that is 7 million. So they lose 7 million. And I think that's why they're raising the ceiling. We talk about 70, some are talking about 80 million. So there's a sell-on clause that they're factoring in on the BALEBA deal.
Can I just say something? Because I saw an account I don't recognise and say, I've not even spoken about Pogba. And if you knew my views on Pogba, I think Pogba was a good player, but Manchester United needed a better team. And I don't think, I would say personally, I thought Pogba was good, but Man United had weaknesses in the rest of the team.
Yeah, I loved.
And I think no one's going to say Mason Mount's better.
I think he said it because I mentioned maybe Pogba as in that list of expensive players, but I didn't say my opinion on those. And I would tell you right now that I loved Pogba, and I agree with Rich that imagine if we had Casemiro in that era, because that was a few years earlier than we got Casemiro. Imagine Casemiro as the 6 and Pogba and Bruno. Oh my God. We're
kind of like an elite CDM away. I thought when we had Bruno Fernandes, Pogba and Matic, but also I don't think we had much cover. I think we were one of these teams where we had good pieces, but not a complete squad. Don't forget though, that was also when Man City and Liverpool were getting close to 100 points a season. So to finish second in that season with Mourinho and actually winning the Europa League, that team was getting closer. Again, I think this is where we're looking at and saying that it's not one player that's going to make or break a team. Like United didn't have lots of other top players at the time. But I put a link in the comments if you want to join in, and maybe I should pin it or something.
Yeah, Cobby, why don't you join in and we'll have a conversation
about Pogba.
Again, this is something where if you want to join, you can also change the conversation if you want to talk about something else as well.
Yeah.
But
when you get on, it's like you can use those. We have a bit, they would say about 15 minutes each, so that we get through everyone or something like that. But it doesn't have to do with the show or anything. Like, you can talk about anything United related. If you just want to talk about the best goal you've ever seen United, it can be transfer news, it can be So just anything United. But yeah, I think WDB's
Gregory's saying the same thing though. He's saying that's why we should get Angela Stiller, Fernandez. I think you can say you could also add like a couple of other players to that list and say it's not. I don't think it's that the
BALEBA,
price
obviously.
problem. I think with that one, it's probably about the fact that United with Lukaku, Pogba, you win the Europa League, you win the FA Cup, etc. You finish second or third in the Premier League. I think United. They didn't win the Champions League. They didn't win the Premier League. But I don't think any of us could sit here and say that we had a squad anywhere near the squad that Man City had. So it doesn't mean that those players were bad or that we bought crap players. I think we just bought decent players, but we were really fighting for second place because the level was we weren't close to City's bench and squad.
And the thing I think is there was a bit. I think that was kind of a pivotal moment for our club. If you think looking back now, we were very, I can use the word unlucky with Greenwood. Like that happens how many times in the club's history that someone gets banned or like not banned, but you get it. Like we had him, and then we had the sort of Ten Hag. Like we had that happening while Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was like the worst period in his kind of reign. So we were kind of unlucky with the Greenwood situation, how it affected the club and the stuff like that. And also after that, we were so unlucky, and I call it unlucky because Ten Hag, I think something happened in the club when he removed De Gea. I think that was a very unpopular. I'm not saying like blaming or finding stuff like that, but I just think we around that time with Pogba, Bruno, Greenwood, Cavani, Rashford, I think we were building something really good in that era. But I just think like how unlucky were we that we had one of the best talents we've had in my lifetime, and he did what he did, and so things could have like we weren't that far away in that. But just to pick up on WDB's point, I think it's so if it's one thing I want to clip up and send to the board, it's what he just said. Like those 50, 40 players, they easily become 60, 70 if we don't move quick. And suddenly they have a good, how do you say it? Suddenly they have a good tournament. So that raises the price.
Is that the worst case scenario for you? Do you think that we actually have, we're so slow that it ends up being that other players get bought, that pushes the price up? And
60 million for Joao Gomez. That's something like that. No, I'm not negative in the thought like that, but I'm just saying like, I think what WDB is saying, if that come to the board, it's like if we are just really quick, we can just lay back and just watch the prices of everyone else rise in the World Cup. We see Chelsea, Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal buying super average players for 80 million. They are that did good in the World Cup, and then suddenly the price is up. They have to overpay. They go to Arsenal, they go to Chelsea, and then they just knackered because they were so good in the World Cup, and they just come there overpriced, tired, extended holiday.
You've just described like almost every Chelsea signing. They're always overpriced. They always like Gittins was 60 million overpriced. Benatia was 40 million overpriced. Caicedo 112 million. I think it's overpriced. When have they last been a serious like contender for the Premier League? So I think that this price, Cucurella, I don't know. Cucurella got his hair pulled today, and it wasn't a red card. That annoyed me
as much as Cucurella crazy. That's so, and by Calvert-Lewin, like I
know that, how ironic.
The irony is you can't even make it up.
Luckily for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he wasn't wearing a Man United kit, or it's a straight red all day, every day.
Hi, Bilal.
And we've got Bilal in the chat. So welcome,
big up, guys.
To the comments.
Big up,
how
Bilal.
Are you doing?
Glad you tuned in.
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm
kind of relaxed about the window because I think. I was going to say, I think even the most incompetent.
That guy's been saying that a few times. that guy's been calling us racists about 3 times
Well,
now.
I don't.
As that account is
People
blocked.
like someone.
I mean,
Someone
look.
actually recently. I know that this channel's been going for like say a couple of weeks
I'm
now.
getting
But
annoyed about it.
I'm like 2.5 Zimbabwe, so.
No, I was just going to say that you said people will throw things around a lot, but someone left a comment about 2 days ago asking if I was a Man United fan. I was thinking,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
but why
What
are
an
you asking me a
idiot.
comment if I'm a Man United fan? The fact that I've supported Man United since the 80s. Just watch the stream if you want to ask questions. Like what was this like competition about who's the best fan? It's ridiculous. But Bilal,
I just going to quickly say, I just
Yeah.
think on this, I think sometimes people jump into a channel and they expect it's the same nonsense that goes on in other channels, and they just don't realize that we
Sorry
don't
about bringing this
operate.
up, by the way.
We don't operate in that way, and I think people realize if they
annoying.
stick around long enough, they'll see that this isn't
guy
boring.
we've actually got one back at so they End the Madness. I've been looking for your account for
Big
ages,
up End the
and
Madness.
good to see you back in the chat, because what was good to see you was also you're the one person at the start of the season you predicted Man United were going to finish top 4. People thought you were insane. I kind of like was like on your side a little
I thought
bit
he was
because I
insane.
thought there was negativity, but no, you were spot on. But anyway, back to the stream. Bilal, thanks for tuning in. What do you want to talk about today?
What are you guys talking about? Sorry, I just came in.
We're moaning about Helgi was like basically telling us that we should lower our hopes because we'll never get anything done. But
Super duper.
No, I didn't say
I
that.
second that.
No,
I didn't say either.
No, if I can ask you this, would you buy 3 or 4 really expensive, or 6 or 7 less expensive but filling up the squad?
I'll do what Sunderland did earlier in the season. They didn't spend a lot, but they bought a lot of good quality players.
Yes.
That's what we should be doing, I think.
Exactly. Throw enough shit on the wall and something will stick.
Yeah. Great policy, that.
Yeah.
Obviously, with better quality is what we're hoping. Like it looks like the names in the shortlist are good.
Yeah, throw enough mud. I mean mud, not shit.
But we don't need to spend that much money.
Like somebody put a comment in. I was going to say, Bilal, like somebody put
you don't need to spend too much money. Sorry.
a comment in, and I would say, like, why is price the deciding factor? I don't think it needs to be. Like, Bilal, if you're looking at rebuilding midfield, Casemiro's gone, Agate's gone. Effectively, you're picking like a few people to play alongside or rotate with Kobe Mainoo. So do you have like 3? If you're going to pick 3 people, do you have 3 standouts, or do you think, and is price a factor for you?
3 standouts. Well, I'm just gonna mention players I've seen play because I don't really watch other leagues too often. So I think I would go for BALEBA, Wharton, and someone like Tonali.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
I think potentially that would be like within budget, wouldn't it? I was just thinking, I'm wondering whether Wharton wants to join Man United or whether he'd get other offers.
I'm not sure if I'd sign BALEBA for 70 million though. I'm a big fan of this, but I'm not sure.
I think it would be 50.
Just quickly, just to play devil's advocate on that, Bilal, do you believe that? Because I would say then Tonali then starts alongside Mainoo. Do you think Wharton and BALEBA would be happy being rotational on the bench, seeing as they're starters in their current club?
Well, BALEBA's not been a starter, has he? This season.
Apparently, they're managing minutes. So he started every game, but they've taken him off after about 60 or 70. He played his first 90, and in fact,
Brighton,
a sensational game against
Brighton. So I think Brighton will,
I'm not sure if they'd be happy with that myself.
I think they have to be realistic, though. If they're starting for their team, but their team is mid-table or fighting relegation, and they come to Manchester United, the idea is going to be that at one point Manchester United just had Teddy Sheringham or Dwight York or Andy Cole on the bench. We've had Cunha on the bench this season. We've had Sesko on the bench, and Sesko's our most expensive signing. If you come to Manchester United, you've got to be elite to be in the first team.
we've done that in the past, though. We bought players who were starters for their team, but once they joined us, they accepted that they had a squad role. Like, for example, I can think of Ashley Young. He was a starter for Aston Villa, but once he came to United, we would rotate him and rest him.
Exactly. Nani.
But okay, so just play devil's advocate again. So if we're looking at Ashley Young, he was further on in his career, so I can kind of understand that rotational. Whereas these are young players who are looking for a step up, and in order to progress, because I still don't think we are that Man United that we can suddenly say, "Well, hold on, you're coming to us. We're going to get you out of first team football." You're going to play second fiddle. I'm just playing devil's advocate. I know if I was a young player, would I be happy with that? That's the only question I'm asking.
Do you think? But do you think also, if we play devil's advocate to that again, that we are contacting players and be like, you are going to be a rotational? I think that's also a hard thing kind of to do without lowering the standards of
I don't think you would say that, would you? Because if you come into Manchester United, the idea is going to be that it's not about rotation. It's about, if we signed Anderson, BALEBA and Wharton, for example, or Tonali, and they came to Manchester United, it still could be like, you still don't know who would be the guaranteed starters after a couple of months. Because what if Mainu and Anderson, for example, or Mainu and Tonali were unbelievable together, and when you brought in, I don't know, a different player, it didn't work as well? Or what if Anderson didn't work as well as BALEBA? It would be... It's difficult to predict, isn't it?
I would actually love something like Stiller and Tonali, and then BALEBA and Mainu, and those four.
Do you remember Man United? Like, say as an example, because we all think football's about sort of partnerships and understanding between teammates, and it's like Dwight Yorke and Andy Cole weren't really going to be Man United's first choice strikers, but the chemistry between them was unbelievable. I think Solskjaer was going to be the main striker when they signed him, from what I can remember. But Andy Cole and Dwight Yorke, it just worked. And I just wondered, like, if Man United bought 3 midfielders, could there be an example where even maybe like João Gomez and Kobe Mainu, or like 2 players you think, actually, why can't Tonali get into the team? Because sometimes it could be, it's not necessarily that you have to spend 80, 90 million. It's about getting the players that actually work well. Because we look at organised teams, and Bournemouth didn't spend £80 million per player. They've got a very well set up team. And actually, we set our team up better with the same players for the City game, for example, and we saw levels of improvement. So I don't think it's necessary to spend
like Berba says. Berba says there, you can buy lesser players and have a better team understanding. And I agree. Like, that's why I love 100%. Football more than individual sport. I've never enjoyed individual sports because I love football, because it's like you can have 9 amazing players and 2 shit players, and they lose to a team with 9 decent players because it's a team game or whatever. Like, that's what I love about football. So when you were talking there, Rich, about the partnership in midfield and stuff, I actually see BALEBA and Mainu being, when you talked there, I was kind of imagining them in terms of BALEBA is so fast, he's so quick on like the meters, and I was like, don't they kind of cover up each other's weaknesses very good, actually? And I see them two becoming like, imagine just Heaven and Yoro and BALEBA and Mainu. That's the wet dream. But wow, what a cool what a cool 4 that would be. Like Heaven, Yoro, BALEBA and Mainu, like in the midfield, just.
And just coming back to them, that's why I think United will buy 1 of Tonali, Wharton, BALEBA, Anderson, and then I think the mid ranges come in, because if I'm a Wharton or a BALEBA, I'm going to a club where I start, because I can go to Liverpool, I can go elsewhere, I can go to other clubs in the Premier League where I will start, and I think you want those assurances, and that's all part of the negotiation. I don't think United can offer that. They've backed themselves in a corner by saying they are going to build the team around Mainu. So that's gone. That's a given. He's going to start. So we're not that Man United. I would love to say we used to have 4 strikers. At the moment, we have 1. We're not young, that team.
One young,
and we were winning leagues like it was going out of fashion. It was like, what additional cups are we going to win this year? So, and I think we're so far off that. And I think the players coming to United know that too. So you've got to sell Man United to these players, and if they're their top man in their midfields and their prospective clubs, that's why I think an Angelo Stella would come in. He's going to take a year to kind of acclimatise. Possibly he might hit the ground running, but I think that movement happens. He's got experience, so that then you can kind of justify some of those movements. Or an Agume would come in, and I think he'd be quite happy to back up as well. So I think that's why you go for those 30 to 45 million players. I'm not saying Stella will be 45; he may be a bit more, but that's why you don't go for, because Wharton they will want 70 or 80. BALEBA they're asking for 70
stay away
to 80.
from Wharton, I say.
Tonali, I see the 100 million mark, and I understand that it could be 100 million mark because that's his value. And Anderson, you're looking at almost 120, unless Man City, because they are very shrewd, have an understanding there for some reason. But if Forest, the other caveat in all of this, if Forest win the Europa League, they're in Champions League. So would Anderson stay for another season? There's always that.
I think we stay clear of him.
Yeah. Just a few points.
I think I've kind of decided on what 3 I would go for, but maybe it's a bit too expensive and too ambitious. But I don't want to like lower my bar. At the same time, I want to be realistic. But I would really love Tonali and Stiller and BALEBA, and I know that probably won't happen. But I'm just saying, like, BALEBA is still a young kid from Brighton who hasn't like blown up the world, and Stiller is not the super expensive coming in from Germany, and then Tonali is so expensive. So I don't think it's that super unrealistic. But if our midfield next season was Stiller, BALEBA, and Tonali and Mainu, oh my god, and it isn't. I think we should like punch up. We shouldn't be like, oh, maybe we should look for some Hackney, or like, I think we should really punch.
I saw close read this comment out. There's a couple of things I wanted to say about it. One is going to be like welcome from Croatia, and actually hopefully we'll get Dora on, our Croatian guest, quite soon. But Vril put this comment here, and for me this makes me think of like a proper recruitment strategy where you got maybe some not well-known players that they found, which are really good signings. They also had a couple of experienced Premier League proven players. I think there was one defender that had won the league previously, but they had some like dependable players. They had quite a good framework, and then they got people like Vardy from lower league. So they kind of like with Leicester City, they might have got lucky, but it seems they scouted quite well with Mahrez, Kante. They got a decent like Premier League sort of scaffold to build on, and then obviously like Jamie Vardy was exceptional for a few years. And I think that's probably shows that you can spend 80, 90 million pounds on midfielder, but you can also spend maybe 40, 50 and actually get someone that can do the same job. And hopefully we could be talking about signing like more players rather than spending, because it feels like there's a lot of pressure on a 100 million pound signing. But if there's 3 people coming in on about 50 to 60 million, maybe, or 40 to 65, 70, I think it seems more sustainable. And it does mean that United, that they don't have to then go, right, well, I don't like the idea of saying we need to get some cheap options, because if you say, right, let's phone the agent, we understand you got a player that's a cheap option for us, that we'll get him in. So it does feel like United could have potentially, if you're a player that's been playing week in, week out for Wolves, then you might be thinking, okay, if I'm going to go to Manchester United, I can still like prove I'm good enough. I can still step up and find a different level, because I think a lot of these players we're looking at are quite young, so they could improve a lot. I think there's a lot of examples where you see some players and people don't really rate them too much at the age sort of 21, 22, 23. But I think if you look at, say, for example, I think there's some strikers we're looking at that are quite young, and you think, oh, what's the career trajectory? But I think you have to take a couple of gambles, but you can go for ones that feel a bit like they're quite safe. And I don't think there's a risk in some of those signings, because they don't seem like they're going to be too risky.
And also, if you think about, if you're not United and the top 6 kind of clubs in European football, or like Atletico Madrid, or like those top clubs, if you think about it, like the people we are talking about, like he's a smart buy, like 40, 50, for about 90% of the clubs in the world, that's their star signing. And actually the ones we're talking about, like Stiller, or the people in about the 40 range, is actually really, 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 really good players when you think about it.
Yeah, and really
like,
good
actually,
value.
Yeah, and the hit value for, like, I did the thing about who we signed over 70 and how most of them haven't worked. But I bet if we did this around the world, the hit rate isn't that good.
It's not. Look at Liverpool last season.
Yeah, so it isn't a guarantee at all. And I just want to answer a comment about Gregory said who we would pick from if Spurs went down, and Porro, I would stay away from that Ronaldo wannabe. Romero, I wouldn't touch him with a stick.
There's a reason they're going down.
Yeah, exactly. And last season, they were down here last season as well.
They've only dropped a couple of places this season, but they're still there.
But there's one I would take Palinha, because I've seen him in the Premier League and is excellent number 6, but he is a Bayern player, so we wouldn't get him from, or maybe Spurs have bought him.
It's on loan, isn't it?
And I would take Udogie, because Udogie has been so much injured. And I know that kind of sounds wrong, but I think Udogie is a really good left back, and he's worth to take a punt on, not like to buy him from 60 million and start him every game. But I've seen enough from him to kind of, when Spurs have been shit, he has not been playing, and when they have been good, he's been playing. So I feel like there's something there, and I would take him. We need a left back, but other than that, I agree with VDB. Like, this is a team that has been 15th 2 years in a row. They aren't Spurs. The Spurs, they are actually a really, really poor team with poor loser mentality. So I agree with you. Stay clear.
Bilal, this is your time. What's your opinion of it? We're speaking of.
Oh, he said he can't talk right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll find Bilal when he comes back, his opinion. Then we'll get Tom on after that. So Zena joined in the chat and said Anderson may have done well, but saying you think he will be potentially injury prone in the future. And I saw this comment saying too many overpriced players. Based on like a rough assessment of how much they're going to cost, which players do you think are overpriced at the moment? Because we talked about the good deals.
Wharton is my number one. Like 70, 80
how much
for
think he'll
Wharton
cost though? I'd say he's overpriced. 70. How much think he'll be?
What do you think he should be?
I think I saw something most recently that said 60 to 65. And I thought that's
ridiculous when you have Stiller like ripping it up, and like Stiller is such like he's such a safe choice for me. Like price, like imagine if Stiller comes and he doesn't lit the world on fire, he still would be about 30, 35 when we sell him in 3 years. He's such a no-brainer for me. He plays for the national team. He's been linked to every big club, but he will probably choose us ahead of like the Real Madrid and stuff at the moment because of playing time. But the fact that most big clubs also want him, and people in Real Madrid are talking about him like the new Toni Kroos and stuff, like to buy him for about 40 instead of buying a Wharton for about 70, I think Wharton is the one I would be very worried for if we get him.
We had this conversation last April, just as they were going into the FA Cup, and I was saying at the time, if they win that FA Cup, his price is going to soar. Because what Crystal Palace will point to is that he's a cup winner, he's in Europe, he's got European experience, he's an England international, he's got Premier League experience, he's young, so they will point to all of that. And I think they're quite within their right to do so, because that's the way the Premier League is measured at times. I don't know about Wharton. I think he gets a lot of bad press. The price, I think the problem we're going to have this summer. Look, we've got the World Cup. The World Cup is going to knock people's prices anyway. We've got two big names. If those two big names go for whatever price they're going to go, they're going to ask for 60, 70 million. Crystal Palace aren't going to lose one of their best players for pittance. And I think 60 to 70 million is realistic. I wouldn't pay it. I would pay it. I don't think it's that far a leap.
Agume.
I think there are better options.
Yes.
If it came down to it and we were left with Wharton, I wouldn't be panicking about that. I think he's a good player.
I really like him, but like you say, I just think in terms of central midfielders, we were talking about 30 different that we all would be happy with, and I don't see why we should then go for a 21-year-old for about 70 million when we can go for Agume, we can go for Stiller, we can go for
even this Helgi. You put 70 million on Wharton and you put 70 million for Tchouaméni. It's night and day.
That's what I was saying. Like, if Tchouaméni is available for 70 million, I think it defines like the upper ceiling for that player. And you think BALEBA's not that category, Wharton's not that category, and it's
they should be the same price. One, by the way.
Yeah.
A little bit extra for Wharton because of the English tax. I loved Mickey's comment. I bet we end up with Ndidi.
Man, people mentioned Ndidi about 2 years ago, and I was speaking to a Leicester content creator 2 years ago.
That made me laugh.
I think was Ndidi the secret midfielder? Because if you put Ndidi's face out there as a potential target, it would just cause outrage. So I think they had to keep it secret because it was so bad. I'll say this quickly before I get Tom on. Yeah. When we saw a story about a year ago or 2 years ago saying Ndidi was available for like 12 or 15 or something, I messaged Leicester Tie owner Chris, spoke to him, and he said the reason why Ndidi's cheap is because he's crapping on the way down, and he has been for years. And I was like, okay, but this is a Leicester fan perspective. And to be honest, what's happened with Leicester recently? Maybe he could have done a job there still. I don't know. I mean, I think he could have probably.
And just quickly before Tom comes on. What a load of nonsense. Only Man United could spin this secret midfielder. I mean, it's just kind of like, what?
It was fun, though, when we did the shows and talked about it. At least it was, I see the silver lining and things, and it was that was super duper secret, you know? Yeah. And Berber's comment, I will be controversial here and said I would actually take Lewandowski because I'm so done with the 37-year-olds. I know. We've been there, done that. But I think Lewandowski is one of the best strikers I've ever seen in my life. And even though he's on the decline, I would love for him to learn, because he's won it all, like Champions Leagues, multiple Champions Leagues, by the way. He scored 70, 80 goals a season for a couple of seasons for Bayern. I would love him for Sesko to just put off the pressure one season or whatever. But
I was going to say, look, his quality. What I would do with Lewandowski is bring him into the coaching team, because if you've got someone like that for the young lads to learn off week in, week out, if he wants to, and that's what I would position him in, because I'd be scared about giving him a couple of years. But he's better than what we have at the moment, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was going to say, I want to thank Bilal for coming on. Bilal had to leave. Yeah. We're going to get Tom on. And also welcome Tom to the chat as well, because he's someone that is new to the channel. So thanks for getting involved to start with, Tom. Appreciate that. I think you might know Stephanie or something, but I think Stephanie knows every Man United channel and person, it seems. Welcome to the chat, Tom. Thank you so much for joining us, because I think some people watch and go, I'll join. And then those people that said to me earlier today they were going to join have vanished. But how are you feeling today? And also welcome to the channel.
I'm good, mate. It was an honour. I only discovered your channel yesterday, and I really enjoyed the conversation, the interactions with the live chat, and yeah, it felt like a channel for the fans. So I really enjoyed that. It gets me away from Gary Neville.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to talk. We don't want to see Gary Neville. No, I think Gary Neville is
No, the best right back in Premier League history, but. He's not a fan, is he? Well, he is, but you know, like everything's driven with him in it. So it's great to meet people like you and get that real fan intake.
Yeah. So what are you thinking then today? Like in terms of like, say for Man United, there's a lot to like going on. There's going to a game against Brentford, which could be the one that like locks up Champions League football. You got transfer news, Michael Carrick. I mean, because I've not met you before, what's your feelings on like the club in terms of like, are you happy with Carrick staying on, or do you think like
the Carrick question? Give him the Carrick question.
Yeah. What's your thoughts? I mean, there's no wrong answer.
No, of course not. Look, Carrick staying on. It does feel like a bit of deja vu. I mean, I remember when we had Solskjaer, and Solskjaer is my all-time favourite player, despite the fact I weren't even around when he scored the winner in '99. I weren't born yet. But, yeah, but we got Ollie in as interim. I thought, oh, brilliant, my all-time favourite player. And he did amazing. And then he got the job. And then it got very toxic. I mean, we lost 5-0 to Liverpool. And that was when I said Ollie out. And I hated saying it. And then we lost 4-1 to Watford. And by that point, the writing was on the wall. And he got sacked the next day. So with Carrick, I mean, I just don't want to see the same thing happen to Carrick. I getting Carrick in. I mean, look, it's all great. It's a fairy tale and all this and all that. But I don't think it ends well. Seriously, like...
Yeah.
I can see the same. I can see the exact same thing happening again.
Who would you want there instead? Like, because Nagelsmann seems to be the one that Christopher Vivell would want. Would you be happy with him, or is there somebody else you think would be a good option?
Well, I mean, I can tell you my dream. My dream is Enrique, but
Yeah.
Of course, like I'm really clutching at straws there, aren't I? So yeah, I mean, I suppose I would want Nagelsmann, but yeah, I mean, I don't want to see Carrick get bullied out the job like Ollie was. I felt he was bullied out the job because player power is a thing.
Yeah,
it is a thing. As much as we all hate it, it is a thing. And all I can see is player power happening again with Carrick because he's doing it now. He's trying to keep the players happy. He's trying to keep them as happy as they can. Oh lads, we'll take the training down by 1 hour and all this and that. Yeah, you're keeping the players happy, but what happens when you lose that dressing room? You'll be bullied out the job. It's sad, but
I always say, because I've been working in corporate jobs before. I always say, if they can get you in, they can get you out.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, if they ask the players who would you prefer, they ask the players who would you prefer, like they have done, by the way, that we love Carrick I always say, if they can get you in, they can get you out as quickly. And what I mean by that is, if they ask the players who they want and they get heard, if they want him gone, like, imagine the players can even say that to Carrick, kind of. I don't think they will, by the way, but they can like say, if you don't do what we want, you're no one. We got you this job. We can get you out as quick as we want. I don't think that will happen. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, I think it's really scary to give someone the job because the players like him. Because I've never been at a company where you employ a mate or someone that people like, that gives them a lot of breaks and let them do what they want. Or like this, you weren't here, Tom, but a month ago, I raised a kind of a point about Carrick, like the substitute teacher vibe.
Yeah.
That I have worked as a substitute teacher, and all the pupils, they loved me because I would just give them 2 hours of Mr. Bean. I would give them longer recess. I would not give them tasks to do. And I just feel like I get that vibe from this, that he hasn't left out anyone, by the way. He hasn't rotated. They haven't traveled, hotels, sleep. He has no experience. And that, like, I would rather maybe from to the end of the season, if we have lost, like, we have never seen how he is when he's in a rough patch, by the way. We have never seen players getting angry at him. We losing 4 games on the bounce. What does he do then? I think it's the sample size scares me in terms of getting another manager who has been in the storm, who has been in the shit.
Well, can I pose one more question to you? And this goes to all the Carrick inners. And honestly, I'm telling you, that Carrick was the CDM I grew up with. Seriously, I'm 24. I grew up with Carrick's the CDM, and I hate to go in on him like this, but I love Man United more than anything. We beat City and we beat Arsenal under Carrick. What else have we really done since then? Lose to a 10-man Newcastle, lose to Leeds at home, destroying a 45-year streak. I mean, what my point is, if Carrick never joined us, and we signed him from Tottenham. If Carrick never joined us and he stayed at Tottenham, became a Tottenham legend, cult hero, whatever, and then we got him in, would this still be acceptable, or are we just feeling a little bit of emotions? Do you know what I mean? Like,
even if you don't take away the United thing, but he's a Middlesbrough manager, and we got him now as he was not fired by Middlesbrough. He was still in Middlesbrough, and we got him in the summer. That would have still been very underwhelming, even with the United link. So I agree. Like, the more time has gone by, is it possible for me to share the screen here? Can I do that, Rich? I just want to see. Yeah, can I do it there?
You should be able to share it from like if you're on YouTube, you open up, you can share the stream.
Yeah, share screen. I'm going to.
Oh, you mean share stream? Which is screen? Sorry.
Let me see. Okay, because it's about. Okay, let me know. Can you put the screen up?
Yeah, I can see that. Is that our fixtures?
Yes.
If we kept Amorim, if we kept Amorim was I think Amorim was our worst ever manager.
Yeah.
I'm just going in the midfield, leaving Mainu out.
Yeah.
I know the board did him dirty, but I don't think you can talk about Amorim. It's like talking about Grimsby. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, fans will laugh at us because we lost to Grimsby, but we had an Arna, we had Amorim.
This is what I'm This is what I was going to bring up on, because your point, Tom, and I agree with your point. You said City, Arsenal, brilliant, but what else? And this is what I wanted to bring up. If we see here, so we have those two games here, but then the next 3-2, and you can see here, Sesko scored in the 94th minute. So we almost drew that game. And I know this is going to be like, and then we won, but just stick with me. And then we had this game where they got a red card in the 29th minute. So we played against 10 men, and the last goal was in the 82nd. But it's okay, but it was against 10 men. Okay, but if you remember the game, it was pretty shit. And the same, Fulham was pretty shit as well. Then we drew against West Ham, who was in the poor form, because Sesko scored in the 96th minute. We just drew. So we have like this and the Fulham late goal, and we were shit. And this was when West Ham wasn't good, by the way. Then we lost to, we won here because...
Yeah, we won 1-0.
We won 1-0 against, and they were... Yeah, we won that. And we were so shit that game, by the way. We were so shit and boring. And then this 2-1 against Palace again. Here we see again 2-1 against Palace. My point is 2-1 here. Loss against Newcastle. This was a pretty decent game, to be fair. This was a good game, so I'm going to be even-handed. This game was pretty good. And then we drew against Bournemouth, and then we lost against Leeds, and then we won with one shot against Chelsea, which I loved. But my point is, like we drew against Bournemouth. Like, this is, look at our form. It's like one shot against Chelsea. Luckily, it scored, but lost against Leeds at Old Trafford. 2-2 here. This was a decent game. 2-1 loss against Newcastle. Barely won against Palace. Barely won against a shit Everton at the time. 1-1 against West Ham. So yeah, I'm not going to go on, but my thing is that I agree that we did the most amazing things in those two, but after that, I'm so happy, so I can't be like, oh, we won, and like complaining about it. But when you actually revision it and look back and take away the emotions, we aren't playing good football. We are scoring like, imagine if we didn't like score all those 90. We would.
But it's the United way, though, isn't it? I mean, look, I get what you're saying. I'm going to try and play devil's advocate on this. He doesn't have his team. The midfielders, we know, is a big issue. That he doesn't have too much squad depth. People, when Amrin came in, kept banging on about he hasn't got his players, there's no pre-seasons, no this. Well, if you've got that energy for Amrin, if you've got the energy for any manager, have the energy for this. This is a guy who's just come in as, I'm not going to go too hard on Carrick. He's come in as a temporary manager. Bear with me. And I think he's done well. And I think you could also look at that and say, that's United's fighting spirit. We did not give up till the very end, and we got results. You know, we could have lost, we got a draw, we got wins. So I get that. I fully agree. After Arsenal and Man United, that was our manager bounce. And then since then, that Chelsea game was diabolical. And my biggest criticism of Carrick is the same criticism of Amrin. Why are you not making substitutions earlier? I mean, Mazraoui was having a stinker. Take him off. You know, take him off at half time. I can't remember who the other player was that was having a stinker. Take them off. So he doesn't make his subs at the right quick enough for me. His in-game management is concerning, and it's gone down like this. But I always have to caveat with he's come in where we were on our knees. He's got us to third place. I think, considering all of the circumstances, he's done as much as any manager could have done in those circumstances. The play is awful at times. It really is to watch. And it's disheartening because I saw the passion and people fighting for the badge. But that's a manager bounce. And then since then, they've reverted. These are the same players.
Yeah.
He's trying to do as much as he can, but his substitutions are late. So I don't go too difficult on Carrick because I frame it with what he's been given, what his remit is. And he fits that remit. But will he be a better manager when he's got more players and he has to manage those players when we're playing more games? I don't know. Will Nagelsmann come in? Will Nagelsmann come in and do that any better? Will we get him before the World Cup? No. So
the problem is we have absolutely no idea how Michael Carrick would cope with a Champions League campaign with the Premier League, because for the first time in ages, we have no European football. And I think if Michael Carrick, when he came in, if we said, right, we're going to be finishing third, I think most people would have said, okay, surprising, but that would have been very good. I think the problem's going to be that given like, you know, it's no pre-season, the coaching put together. One of the positives I would say is that there has been recent, I think, improvements in coaching with like Aidan Heaven. There was a lot of talk about him working with Woodgate, working with Evans. But I think United need to actually have a serious conversation to say, like, if they want to stick with Michael Carrick as an example, because what if Nagelsmann says no, other top managers say no, then maybe they need to look at like who's going to be there. If you've got Woodgate, you've got Evans, you've got Holland, like, do you need to like go, right, we need to put some better coaches or different coaches around him that are going to maybe play more exciting football? But the problem is going to be that if you have Nagelsmann, then you've also got to convince him to join. If he doesn't want to, I mean, I would say that with the best will in the world, so that whatever head coach we had to play with Aidan Heaven and Mazraoui as our centre backs. This is Manchester United. We had about a year where we had no left back. We've got no backup striker. So I'm not making excuses, but I'm saying with Carrick, sometimes it's quite difficult because I think some of the substitution issues is also, I think it's not just Michael Carrick, is it? It's the other coaches. And I think I wonder whether Michael Carrick definitely has authority over those, or whether he's like listening a lot to Holland, and Holland's experience is then also making decisions. Because it looked like against Leeds, Holland was there, stood next to him, advising him, and Michael Carrick. It wasn't like Michael Carrick was levels above everybody else. It's almost like a consortium of like 3 or 4 people managing the team. It feels like a dual manager at the moment, like Holland plus Carrick.
But there's only one squad. We only have one squad. We don't have anyone we can bring off the bench.
That's the point.
We don't have anyone on the bench. We don't. There's only one squad. Like, do you know the best thing? Do you know what? Well, I'm not going to say the best thing, but the fact that we didn't beat Spurs in that Europa League final, that was a blessing in disguise. I'm telling you. Imagine this squad in Europe. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's killing me. Like, no, seriously. Like, we'd have been knocked out of Europe at the league phase. We'd be a lot further down the league table than we will be now. Us losing that Europa League final, I'm telling you now, it was the biggest blessing in disguise I've ever seen.
I agree.
I don't know. I think it costs us 100 million in revenue, and I look. We don't know. It's the sliding door. course. We don't know. We could have gone in there and done well, and maybe this.
But how tired they look! But how tired they look now with once a week. We barely can get 11 players.
Just quickly, we may not have stripped we wouldn't have stripped the team the way we did this summer. So that there are many things to kind of look at, and maybe there would have been more money to bring in more reinforcements. Yeah. We don't know is the truth of it. I will never say it's a blessing. You know, I take your point, Tom, but I want us to be in every competition, and I want us to be playing in Europe. It killed me that we lost that Spurs.
I agree. I just think if there was one, because I would agree with you.
Well, but it killed me as well. But it killed me like losing that. I thought that was the end of Man United when we lost that Europa League final. I thought that was it. We've got a terrible board. We've just finished 15th. We might be in a relegation scrap this season, and then Cunha comes in, and then Mbeumo comes in, and then Bruno goes, "F this! I'm gonna show that I'm the best player in the Premier League." And then look at where we are now. It's like, so even if we do qualify for Europe this season, which we obviously will, we've got Champions League, but we need about 9 signings next season. Seriously,
look how far Spurs progressed, and look where they are in the league. So if Spurs could have progressed that far, I think we could have. I think European football is a different kettle of fish. It really is. And sometimes it's a respite from all the nonsense that can go on in the Premier League.
And I presume you, Tom, then you agree with, because me and I think Rich agrees as well, but me and him are like we are talking about, when you talk about the summer now, what is your view? Because we are saying, like, obviously we have a lot of money for this summer, like lots of players going, lots of wages, the Champions League, we haven't spent in January. So presumably we are going to have a bit to spend, but hearing you talk, I presume you are on the same thinking as me and him in terms of getting in bodies instead of getting 3 really expensive, like getting in 6, 7. Oh no, 6, 7. I know. But yeah, what's your view on? Because me and him want bodies in. We not that we are just taking any scraps and shit and 20 Ugatis in, but you get the drift. Like, how is your thinking?
And if you could get in 3, who would those 3 be, Tom?
Well, I'll tell you this. So in January, we already spent 60 million on Semenyo, weren't we? We were, weren't we?
No.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
we wanted Semenyo, and we already spent 60 million, but he went to City.
Yeah.
Apparently, Real Madrid wants 70 million for Tchouaméni. That's just 70 million straight there. Stiller, how much would he cost us? 40 mil. BALEBA, don't get me started on BALEBA. Don't go near BALEBA. Jesus. Hayden Hackney for Middlesbrough. Oh, for just over 100 million, we could get Tchouaméni, Stiller, and Hackney. To me, it's a no-brainer. And I don't want BALEBA. I can't understand why a United fan would want BALEBA.
Yeah, it is a risk. Like, he is the one that could be really shit, or I get what you see. I'm not so opposed to it because, but I on a Wednesday I'm on your thinking, and on a Thursday I'm on another side. I kind of switch my opinion a bit about BALEBA because he is a risk, but it all kind of depends also about who we buy. But I'm where I want to kind of have sex with 2 condoms. Yes, I said it. But just be as safe as you can. Stiller is so safe. Is so safe. Just put on them rubber bands and hit him with it. Because
and in today's market, it'll be very cheap.
I don't want to take risks anymore. I'm so tired of. I loved buying Cunha. I loved buying Mbeumo because that's like having 2 condoms on. You just know she's not going to get pregnant. Like, no way. Like, there's no way. Like, BALEBA is like, yeah,
no idea.
no, but you know, like, I don't see us like. I don't want to see us like buying lots of like 18, 20, 22-year-olds who are such a risk, and we are not. I want Mbeumo's, I want Cunha's, I want the yes sir, and that's what I kind of want. I see what's his name? Jarvis said it comes down to this: do you believe Carrick is already at the top level manager, or that he can get there quickly? Do you take the risk or go with someone who's already proven? And I know that VDB then will say, yeah, but Nagelsmann also is kind of a risk, and I get that, but it's
everyone's
like
a risk, to be fair.
everyone's a risk, yeah. But someone is,
especially at this club.
I tried to envision that this was earlier today, and I was envisioning all of us sit here in October. We are 15th with Carrick looking out of his depth. And I'm not going to manifest that. I'm not going to manifest. But we are going to look so stupid if all the other clubs around us are getting in top managers or presumably, and we are stuck. And yeah, but what if we are first then, Helgi? And I get that as well. But my point is, I think Carrick will be like a takeaway. Like, it tastes so good. And it gets you there fast, but I think you will like throw it away really quickly. Like, I want us to, so I'm not like super opposed. I don't have anything against Carrick. It's like I've been saying the whole time. If it's Carrick or Glasner, yes, I want Carrick, but I want us to go for the best, because my thing is like from my point of view, at least. My point of view. If we go
let me try to respond to a few of the comments, Helgi, because I take your point. I think with this also, for context, I know people are tuning in, and I haven't spoken on this subject the last 10 minutes, but people are tuning in with different views. And I think, as always, like, I'm generally quite positive. I think it's also, we have to look at the context of what's happened. Man United have actually picked up more points than Arsenal since Carrick took charge. And a lot of the things we're criticising about Man United, you could probably levy towards
the sample size is so small. The sample size is so small, and things. One thing about this, because I get that, and you sometimes say this, Rich, but sometimes no, but it's just like this consecutive this win rate Carrick thing is just the sample size.
Hold on, if you're going to jump in, I'm going to jump in just on that comment. Carrick hasn't won 75%. He's won 8 out of 12, which is 66%. I keep hearing 75, and I'm pedantic. It's 66%.
It's good though, isn't it? Like, compared with having won no back-to-back wins for about a year, it's a big improvement. Do you know what the thing is? Do you remember when I had this conversation? This is a different analogy. When we're talking about replacing Bayern, I could probably list about 50 goalkeepers, and everyone would say, get them in, get them in. When we talk about replacing Agate, again, like, we list any midfielder, they're going to be an improvement. I think when we had Ruben Amorim with his, 29, 30, 31% win rate, then anyone's an improvement. And I think Michael Carrick has been a massive improvement. But I think when you're looking at it, you just go, right. And to say that Michael Carrick can't do it, I don't really know. I don't know if Michael Carrick can do it.
No, but
I don't know if
I'm not
he
saying
could
that.
surprise me, but I don't know. I don't know if Nagelsmann would walk in and do it. I don't know if it's difficult to predict. I think the thing is that there's a lot of skepticism about, I think, fans that I get the impression that people think if there's 3 or 4 options, Ineos will pick the worst one. And I think that's what people think. But I don't know. It's a bit of a tricky one.
But
Mickey said we waited for open heart surgery. This probably is. I think last season might have been open heart surgery, where we had Rashford, Anthony, Sancho going and getting rid of loads of people. I think that's kind of started, but it's going to take a few years to actually get through everybody. And I think this year as well.
I think we are on the way. I just wanted to say to Gasman Cantona that I started the whole thing with saying I'm not discounting late goals. I'm not discounting like that we play. That's the comment. I'm not. That's why I started before I did that, because I knew comments like this would be like, oh, so you're just discounting, Ferguson's title stand. My point is not I'm discounting the wins or anything like that. I'm just saying the good luck, the riding on a wave won't last. Performance and vision and like a clear thinking of what we are going to do, what play style, or not even play style, but like our plan is worth more than. We are not going to win every game in the 90th minute for 3 years. That's kind of how long will this last? And it may well last. I can't see the future, even though I got a crystal ball here. But I can see the future, but in way may last. But I'm just thinking, he's done amazing, and I'm not like anti-Carrick or something. And people have to also remind, we were like in top 4, top 5 when Amorim got sacked. I'm not saying we would have ended where we are now. We would not be where we are now with Amorim. So I'm just saying that. And I'm for Carrick. I'm just saying, if there is like, we should be going for the best. And if we can't get the best, then go for Carrick. That's all I'm saying.
I think we need to be interviewing 4 or 5 candidates,
yes,
and the best candidate, the most promising candidate, wins it. So I'm not saying Carrick deserves a job, but I think he certainly deserves an interview because he's done really well considering circumstances. Tom, I have a question for you. You've named 3 midfielders that you would like to bring in. Who else would you hope that United bring in the summer? Good question.
Do you mean midfield specifically, or
no? Just to where would you say we need to reinforce in the team, and who could those players be?
All right. Well, 2 fullbacks, a left back and a right back. Because Dalot and Shaw ain't good enough.
My guy. Okay.
We're going to need a backup goalkeeper. That's just a fact because Binder is going back to Besiktas, so that's just factual. I'm answering your question with a question. Do we need a left winger?
Yes.
Or can you put Diogo there?
What would you do?
I think. Well, look, Diogo's not a left back. He can't defend. The lad can't defend. But what he can do is shoot and create chances. Diogo's a left winger. So do we need a left winger? I don't think.
Yeah, that's not a priority for you. Yeah.
But I think striker's going to be a priority, and the striker window this season is not good. So if we're going to bring a striker in, I'd go all out on Igor Thiago.
From Brentford, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And just on the left back, just quickly, sorry, Howie, just on the left back and the fullbacks, are there any names that you would want to bring in?
Well, of course, when you're a big club like us and you ask that about fullbacks, I suppose everyone goes to Tottenham, or everyone just goes to Tottenham in general, and it's like, oh, what have Tottenham got? Good team on paper, but not performing. So our options for fullback would be Udogie and Porro, but I don't think either of them are good enough, to be honest. Porro's good going forward, but can't defend, and I don't really think Udogie's that good at anything, like, to be honest. So bit of pace and that's it. So left back, I'd like to think Alejandro Balde from Barcelona, but am I pushing the boat a little bit there? I don't know. Am I pushing my luck with Alejandro Balde, Barcelona's left back?
No, but you're just saying who you want. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So,
well, okay. All right. Okay. Well, I'd like Alejandro Balde at left back, but and I'd like Hakimi at right back, but I'd like to win the ball. So, like,
wouldn't we all?
And I want to be together with Margaret Robbie. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So right back.
Have you seen I like Van der Sar from Monaco. Have you heard about Nathan Brown, the left back in Germany?
Yeah, I have.
Does he play for Stuttgart?
I think he plays for.
Stuttgart,
for Dortmund.
No, he doesn't play for Dortmund. He played for Frankfurt. Frankfurt,
yeah. I've heard of him, but I'm not going to lie, I've never watched him play. So I
go watch him. Go watch him. I think Nathan Brown. Yeah. I think you will. He's a left back. I think. Yeah, like Nathan Brown is class. Yeah, he is. But we can answer because Jarvis asked a question. We can maybe answer everyone to the round, and then.
Then we'll have to get G-Wolf in, but But thanks Tom for getting involved. So we'll get G-Wolf in. There is another caller waiting as well, but
no problem.
Is this quickly about Carrick saying what convinces
it's
you?
basically a yes or no question to all of us. Like, is your belief Carrick being ready or getting there quickly stronger than the case for hiring a proven manager? It's a kind of a yes or no in that, and that's not us saying that we don't believe. It's just that, like, I know where I stand, obviously. Like, I would put my money on Nagelsmann or Luis Enrique working if we got them. I'm not saying we are getting to get them. I'm not saying they could not fail. Of course, everyone could fail. But the question is kind of, where do you put your money? Carrick becoming a top manager very quickly, or a top manager not failing at United? That's kind of the question. So yeah, I'm going for a proven manager any day of the week. But I would be happy with Carrick if the alternatives is Glasner and someone like that. But yeah.
I was going to. My answer is going to be longer than that. What's your answer, Tom?
I'd quite like Vincent Kompany. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. No. No, I'd quite proven manager.
No.
What about you, Rich? Because you haven't said.
It's difficult because, like, I think with Carrick, it's like, what if he beat Liverpool and play amazing football, I'll change my mind. But I think at this point in time, it probably depends on, like, which of the proven managers we're talking about. If somebody said we got Enrique or Nagelsmann is one of the better options I've seen linked, because I'm guessing that Vivell, who's going to be shaping the squad, knows him really well. So you'd be getting somebody that's got the same vision. In which case, I think if a head coach comes in with the same vision as a sporting director, then
and still
I would say
Germany.
It feel less risky to go with a proven manager for sure. But you'd have to make sure that everything's like, whatever happened with Amorim cannot happen again, because that was clearly a bad appointment for reasons beyond what Amorim was doing. It was about the squad Amorim wanted or required was never going to happen. So if you get someone that's aligned with your sporting director, and it's almost like, he knows Nagelsmann, that would be probably a better option for Michael Carrick. But if you keep Michael Carrick, I would definitely look at the people around him and actually look at some coaches.
Exactly.
As a middle ground, I'd say, why not get Michael Carrick like some elite coaches or someone that he can work with?
I mean, I agree with probably what everyone else has said, and I certainly agree with what Helgi said. It's all relative. If you're offering me a Glasner or Areola, I'm not sure that they're a better fit than Carrick. But if you're offering me Enrique, I don't think he comes. I think he's going to get a great offer at PSG.
Same.
The only issue I have with Nagelsmann is that he's contracted to July 2028. We won't get him before the final, which kind of messes up our pre-season. Do we have discussions with him? They need to navigate that. But look, he's a 4-2-3-1, so we're not going to mess up. He's slightly like Amorim he likes to. He likes numerical superiority in possession. He goes to a 3-4-1-2. So he does some of the stuff that Amorim does anyway. He's probably more of an expert in doing so because he's got more, and he's great with young players. So there's a lot going for Nagelsmann. I think he would probably be a really good fit. But I don't know at this moment in time.
Yeah.
I think you need to have Nagelsmann at the table. You need to have Carrick at the table. The problem we have is that the other managers, I would have loved an Ancelotti at the table. He's not coming. He's signed up to Brazil. They wanted Tuchel. I'm not too sure. I never have been about Tuchel. He signed a new contract. So we're limited by the number of managers that we can interview. And that's the difficulty. So the pot is very small. So it's either going to be Carrick or Nagelsmann, but the way I look at it, and I probably would err on Nagelsmann. I just think because he's got club experience, he's got European experience.
I think this comment is fun. This comment is funny because who had no experience in English football. Ancelotti won the Premier League, Conte won the Premier League, Klopp who won the Premier League, Pep who won the Premier League, Ferguson who won the Premier League. So and also but I agree, it all, like, that's why I don't have any.
And Vivell, like you say as well, Vivell knows him, right? So Vivell's been pushing for Nagelsmann anyway. I have to leave it to Man United. You know what? And you know what? The other thing I'm going to quickly say is, if it blows up, it blows up. I used to be so scared about going on the merry-go-round. Now I say, bring in a manager. If you can't do the job, jog on. And that's the way I'm going to be just as sharp with managers as I have been with players. And I think it's only fair.
Yeah.
Before we get to your thing, can I just say thanks, Tom? Thanks so much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, you have been very good.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, we're going to try and do these every Sunday. So the idea is going to be that hopefully people can come on every week and have a 15-minute chat. But thanks for joining, Tom. Hopefully we'll get you on next week as well.
Yeah.
And have a great
Sayonara.
week. Unless it clashes with football.
Thanks so much, lads. See you later.
Yes.
Welcome. Come back, Tom.
Cheers, Tom.
Bye.
We're going to get on someone that is familiar to a lot of people, waiting patiently. If I say the word hot take, he probably knows coming on. But we're going to put some sensible, moderate questions his way and hopefully get some sensible answers back.
He's never going to be sensible.
When did I ever become sensible? Does that count?
How you feeling, G-Wolf?
All good, bro. How are you?
I'm good, G-Wolf. How are you feeling about all the Man United transfer news, playing Brentford on Monday? What are you thinking?
Can't wait. Mbumo's going to kick ass against his old club.
Yeah, get in.
G-Wolf, do you know what I've really missed?
I think Cunha might be out, so you might have to do this.
G-Wolf, do you know what I've really missed? Can we get a howl from you? Because I haven't heard a G-Wolf howl in probably a
heard
year.
A G-Wolf howl.
Yes. Love it.
G-Wolf, we're going to have to ask you the standard question. You can pick three midfielders. Last year, we disagreed a lot on Mbeumo and Xavi Simons, but this week, we're going to say, we won't interrupt you. Make your case for three midfield players you think United should sign this summer.
Right. I definitely think that we should definitely go for Anderson. That is a definite. We got to go for him.
If we can't get him, but I'll just say that it might be tough. But
if you take him away, then
tell you what, I know this might come left field, but why not try and go for Palmer
as a central midfielder?
As a central midfielder, Cole Palmer.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, what are your other two?
The other two is I'll probably go for Hackney. And the other one's Stiller.
Palmer and Hackney centrally.
I wonder where you were going with when you said Palmer, I wonder where you're going with that one. I think that might be, I don't know, not ideal for midfield, but I would say CDM.
Man United. He supports Man United.
But you're playing him in the same. You're playing him.
I support United, but I don't think I should be playing in the midfield with Hackney. I'm just joking.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think we should be getting Helgi midfield either.
I still think that we should we can get Palmer. He used to play in
I think we possibly could, but I think he'd break the bank.
He plays better as a number 10, but he can play.
That's why, that's my point.
But would you then play with Bruno, Palmer, and Mbeumo, and Cunha, and then Hackney as the
as a CDM? Sorry,
he would be pounded more than Bonnie Blue. Let's say that.
She always turns up in these streams.
Yeah. No, I was thinking G-Wolf, your choice is take Palmer out and go for a more central midfielder. I think.
Central midfielder. It'll have to be that Crystal Palace guy. I've forgotten his name.
Adam Wharton.
That's the one, Adam Wharton.
So you got Wharton, Stiller, and
Hackney.
That's a different combination I've not heard before. So,
if we can't go for Anderson, I'd prefer Anderson over Wharton.
Yeah. You go, sweetheart.
Yeah. Bless you, darling. What if What's your view on BALEBA? Because there's this feeling that Man United are literally going to be signing him because there's so much noise around it.
Yeah.
What's your view?
I used to be a believer, but now I'm not. He's had
And then you saw his face. And then you saw your face. I'm a believer.
I think you saw like £100 million and thought, no,
yeah,
Yes,
£100 million
and then I saw
last
his-
season,
and then I
he's
saw
just
his
had
price.
a crap
Yeah.
season. And he's like, nope,
We were
no,
thinking the
thank
same.
you.
How much would you pay for him though? Like, so I think every player has a price at which people go, that's a good deal, and you take him. How much would you?
What did I say to you? What did I say to you when we were linked to him last season? 40
I
to
don't know,
50
you probably said you'd
million
pay 100.
max for. I wouldn't pay 100, but I would definitely pay 40 to 50 million for BALEBA.
You told me Mbeumo was average, so I kind of didn't listen to everything you said after
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
I was to be honest.
Terrible.
Yeah.
And just on Cole Palmer, because I'm intrigued. What would you be willing to pay to get Cole Palmer to Man United?
They were not letting go for cheap.
70,
You are in the
80.
boardroom.
70, 80.
I would say he's had a pretty good season, I think. Considering that, like, you know, he's been injured and all that lot, and hasn't had a very good end of the season. But I still pay 70 to 80.
I can't
You
see
know what I was
that.
thinking? I was thinking Cole Palmer has all the characteristics of being a player that Helgi said we shouldn't get. He's going to cost way too much. Like
Injury.
you actually, if you actually said he's done quite well considering he came back from injury, that's another flag. And then you said he's been inconsistent recently, another
Yes.
flag. The price is another
Yeah,
flag.
but
I'm
the
just
only
going to
thing
say
is that
there's-
before that, don't forget, he was absolutely phenomenal.
Does he not
Before
sound
that
like
injury.
BALEBA this season?
I don't think it. No, believe it, he's been crap all the way throughout the season. At least Cole Palmer was absolutely decent first half until after Christmas, and then he seems to just.
Well, that's that hardly any of the season there, isn't it? That's the problem. It's going to be like 120 million
But
minimum.
as I said, I'd still take him for 70 to 80.
Yeah, but you must think that there's another club here. It's just I can't like go into a Nike store and say, take those shoes for 40 quid. Like they are like, no, but it still has a price tag on it. You can't just make up a price that you want. But I just wanted to comment also, Lucky Singh, when I talked about Nagelsmann and Luis Enrique, I didn't say that I think we will get them. I'm just saying, to my point, so I'm not like living in a dream world. I'm saying most likely we won't get them, but I'm just saying I think we need to go for, at least like VDB says, like at least try and go for the best managers around the world. And if we can't get them, fair play, then we go to Carrick. I'm not like Carrick all out or Carrick anti-Carrick, nothing like that. I love the guy, but I just also think Jim's comment was very funny. He said, keeping Carrick and giving him a very good backroom staff is like having a Ford car and putting Lamborghini wheels on it. Still a Ford. But no, I'm not saying I agree with that. I'm just saying I like a bit of humor, and I thought that was a cheeky comment.
No,
So I know your guys' takes on the manager, by the way, but I just wanted to weigh in on that. I would prefer Carrick.
Yes, please.
One, because of what he's done, and also two, he's Manchester through and through, and he knows the club inside out.
Do you know who Jim wants? He wants Gareth Southgate. Do you know that? Do you know that's
Really?
his manager of choice? Yeah, he's pushing for it.
He's literally.
Vivell wants Nagelsmann.
He's been all up in the ass of Carrick, not Carrick, of Southgate. Since he took over the club, everyone is saying, "Look, Southgate wants." Everyone thinks that Southgate's coming. He ain't coming.
No
matter what.
Be too divisive.
No matter what Ineos says, he ain't coming.
I think
he's not a manager anymore, though, is he? He doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, but neither was Ralph Ragnick. Didn't stop us, did it?
No, I would say Ralph Ragnick wasn't really an era of success, was it, for us?
I'm such in that. I think VDB knows what I'm going to say now. I would take Ragnick in a heartbeat. Kill me, slay me, joke on me all you want. I would love that guy to like be my uncle, to sit in a family meeting and discuss football with me. Just to be in a family discussion.
You never know. He might do open heart surgery on you.
Yeah, I love that guy. Everything he... I was thinking about this while I was picking ham to buy in the store for 2 days ago. For some reason, I was trying to like choose what ham I'm going to go for lunch, and then suddenly Rannick's voice came into my head. Yeah, I know that sounds schizophrenic, probably is, but I was like, it's so much harder to... Okay. I'm trying to think of an analogy. Okay, I have it. It's like if you are refurbishing a house or redoing a house, it takes so much longer time. If you have like rot and mold and stuff like that in your basement, it takes so much time to like fix things. And I just feel like the easier thing is just to put white paint on it and it looks better, but the things will come back. The reason for this analogy is just like, I just feel like the way Rannick spoke, like he was like, we need to do this, like specific things, not on the fans, not like, this is what professional clubs will do, this. He
should have been like, if we're going to get him, he should have been director of football.
Director,
but I think what he said was, he pointed out all the things we've done wrong, and the Glazers thought,
and
yeah, that's
going
to cost too much, isn't it? It's going to cost too much to do that.
Yeah, but the thing is, I see a lot of people, like when they talk about United, even if they're managers, if there's board, if it's fans, when they talk about United, and we all are victims. No, we all are. Yeah, we all do this in a fashion, but we like to talk about the problems. But a lot of people, that's like the people saying like, get this manager out or get these players out, but they don't have the answer for it. And I'm like, if you're sacking someone hypothetically, you need to hypothetically have, you can't just say. And I feel like that was the thing I loved about Rannick, was he wasn't just kind of like Amorim was saying a lot of problems, Mourinho was saying a lot of problems, but they weren't giving solutions. They were just saying, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. But I feel Rannick was like, we should do this, this is the problems, and we should do this. And these are the areas we need to strengthen. Okay, name us names then. Yeah, and he was naming names, and 90% of them are winning Champions Leagues and leagues today. So I feel like this is kind of what I want. I'm not saying Ralph Rannick in special, but I want someone who is really experienced. They have won leagues, they've done shit, they have rotated, they've disappointed. Like, I know Luis Enrique is the dream, but I'm using him just as an example. But he has sat Mbappe on the bench. He would have no problem with this squad. And I'm just saying, all of these things is just, yeah, that's my rant. I just want specialists. I want geniuses. I want people who are really, 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 really good at that job, and not just 47 win % rate in championship. Sorry, but
can I ask G-Wolf another question? So, and we asked this of Tom. So you named your 3 midfielders. Who would you like to also bring in the summer to strengthen? And do you have names for those positions that you'd like to strengthen?
Well, I think we definitely need another left back, because I want to get rid of Dalot, and I haven't got a name for that one. I know the only decent one who I can think of is Muniz at left back. I think he's been decent. Or the Brighton left back.
Muniz, isn't he a centre back?
Muniz is a right back.
You want to replace the right back, G-Wolf. You want to replace right back and left back.
Yeah, right. I want to both of them. So left back and right back. So Dalot, the right back, he needs to be replaced by Muniz, and the left back, I don't know, someone. And then the 2 midfielders. And then also, if Dalot, if he keeps on having these injury issues, then I'll say we need another centre back. But have we got enough money to get the centre back?
I'm not sure we got enough to get a centre back, a left back, and a right back, and sort of midfield. and get a backup striker. I
That's
don't know.
it. There's
I'd be
too
quite
many
surprised.
positions that we need at the moment. Like, you know,
Yeah, I'd be
we're going to
surprised if we
need
got a
another
right back.
goalkeeper.
We need more
So I'd
positions
be
than a
surprised
pawn
if we got a
star.
right back, to be honest.
It worked. It worked. It worked in a fucked up way. I'm happy with 7 out of 10.
I think we need to get loads of bodies in. I mean, I hear it, but I kind of think the money is there, but I think we just need to be shrewd. We need to be creative. We need to get bodies in. We're bone through it. We're what's the phrase? We're down to the bone, as it is, and we're suffering that in the Premier League. Add European competition. We need to get far in the cups. We need to have cover for players who are injured, which we didn't have this season. We need to be getting in fullbacks. We need to get in another centre back. We can't rely on the centre backs that we have at the moment. I'd ship one of them out. I'd honestly ship 2 of them out to be quite fair.
Second goalkeeper.
Yeah, I'm really hoping, Helgi, that
Vitek
sits for a season. Right? If he then gets kind of, I can't do this, then he can go next season. But that goalkeeper is contracted, so he needs to just sit tight. He does though, you know what I mean? You're contracted.
Yeah, I agree.
And then if you are going to get a left winger, just get a utility player who can play across the line and can cover this be a second striker. Then spend 70 million on that player because you're covering 4 positions. That's what I would do if they are going to. I wouldn't just get an out and out left winger. It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. Just because why not flip Ahmed over there if you are going to have a back, or why not flip Diogo over there if you are going to have a backup? Because your starter has to be Cunha, right? Unless I'm missing something, then Bruno is leaving in the summer, which I hope not. But if he is leaving, are they going to shift Cunha into that position? And that's why they're going so high on a left winger. Is that what we're missing here? Is that what Man United already know? So it's an interesting one. He's got his release clause as 57 million.
How much do you think we'll spend, you will?
Foolish.
Remember last year, we were talking about all these deals and saying, if we spend correctly, Irish Peter says, Danny's saying, if we spend correctly, you can get these deals done for that sort of amount, but they wouldn't necessarily all be starters, but they would be fighting for position. I would say probably unlikely that Luke Shaw, Dalot, they both move on at this point in time. But if you're looking at backups or replacements or players that can come in, potentially, do you think we can get these? What do you reckon the budget is? Because last year we were saying that United tend to spend about 200-ish, but it might be a bit more this season with exits.
And they always do. They always spend over 200 million. Anyone who tells me they don't, they do. Especially especially recently, because they've had to. And again, this season they've got to spend over 200 million. I think the budget is going to be anywhere between 300 to 350. I think that's going to be our budget for this season.
That's quite big. That's quite I think 300 gets the most of it done, because we don't need to spend. If we spent 200 on the midfield, I think there's options to get. Like say that Senesi is one option. You've got Hecker's good for 35 million possibly as a centre back. There's options out there.
And maybe do deals with stuff. And if people have listened to WeDB the last months and talking about the money and stuff, we should be expecting a bit of money, because for the first time, I've never bought into, we're so poor, we are United every summer, the thing that they are trying to push out, and no one kind of believes it anyway. But like WeDB says, this summer, none of us in the chat is allowed to protect the owners this summer, because everyone knows we got money this summer. Everyone knows we got. How much exactly, we don't know, but I am not, everyone is entitled to the opinion if you want this player, that player, this manager, but we all have to agree that this summer we have to spend. There are no excuses this summer. No excuses this summer. Like WeDB has said, he is keeping his eye on what they do, because when people talk about transfers, the money you have, you also have to keep in mind wages, because when we save so much wages, that goes into the transfer budget. So we are not only the players we are selling or stuff like that. Like the money we are getting from, for example, Casemiro and stuff like that, that's about 5 million a year or something like that.
18.5 million we're saving from Casemiro's wages.
Yeah, exactly. So people like take that into consideration as well. The wages we are saving, the Anthony, the Rashfords, the Greenwood, we should be spending shitloads in this summer. And also we have gone so many summers now. January
and Sancho quickly, Helgi. Sancho another 18.5 million.
Brilliant.
That's 37 million.
Can you explain to Gaston Cantona when we did get? He said, "When did we get rich?" Even though we're debt, but just try to explain. You're better than me.
So just quickly. So this year we're going to squad cost ratio, and currently we have about 52% of our revenue is spent on a squad. So we're allowed to spend up to 85%. So the headroom at the moment is 180 million. In the first year, so 26-27, every Premier League club are given an additional 30% that they can spend over the next 3 years. And that for Man United with their revenue is another 200 million. So 180 million plus another 200 million. If they want to dip into that, that's 380 million. We also, if we qualify for Champions League, we get 30 million just for being in the competition. We get another 30 million from ticket sales. We get 15 million because 15 to 20 million because our sponsorship deals increase because we're now in Champions League. And then we get 2 million per game. There's 8 games. That's 16 million. And if we progress further, there's also share of TV rights. So that's at least 100 million coming in. Yeah. So 180 plus 200, 380 plus 100 from the Champions League is 480. And we're going to sell Ugarte. We're going to sell Højlund. We're possibly going to sell Rashford. We may get the add-on from Greenwood. We may sell on Onana. So there's possibly another 100 million there. That's 580 million. Now, I'm not saying the Glazers will spend that, not by a long shot. But if we just spend half of that 580 million, that's 290 million pounds that we've got to spend. So the money is there.
Yeah. Well, they'll spend it or not is another thing,
but I get you. Yeah, I get Cantona's point that like what we have, but what we are allowed to spend is also two different things. We are just saying that we for the first time, like we actually people like VDB can say and put these numbers up for us. They are out for everyone to know. So for the first summer in years, we all know that we have a lot of money. Are we going to spend a lot of money? That's another thing. Like he says, we have payments amortized and stuff like that. So we're not saying we are going to spend 400 million or something like that. We're just saying this summer, we know we have a shit loads of money and there are no excuses for them not to use shit loads of money. We know it's not certain they will spend a lot of money, but that's what I'm saying. If they don't, there will be uproar in the fans. But what is uproar? But
I really
don't think it's too negative.
I have a really good feeling about this.
G-Wolf speaks. We need to get another guest in, so let's get G-Wolf's take on this. One thing I would say about the money is that, we do have these going out. I think one of the things that United need to make sure they do is they can't risk not getting Champions League football year after year, because otherwise it's going to be very difficult. And it's the same way Nottingham Forest gambled a little bit when they got promoted. They almost got relegated, but they bought loads and loads of players. They gambled, and now they're in a situation now where a semi-final Europa League against Villa, they're going to be locking up Premier League survival again, potentially cashing in on some good players. So it's worth the risk for Man United to actually spend a bit more to make sure they don't have another season like last season. If they got good players lined up, well, there will be players like we do owe money, and I think that we still got. I think I've actually got maybe similar debt to Spurs, but our turnover is higher. So I think United can spend. I think the fact that we spent badly is the biggest problem.
We are not saying that we don't have transfers, like we have things to pay off. We have debt. We're not saying like people don't have to. When I say the things about Carrick, like I'm not saying that that's that makes me hate Carrick, or I'm anti-Carrick, or I'm disregarding wins, or if we are saying we got a lot of money to spend, we're not saying that we are super naive and think we're going to spend 500 million. Like,
I think we're going to spend it sensibly, but I think there's more money there to spend than there was last year. But I don't think we're thinking they're going to spend crazy, because I think the idea is going to be that the signings are not insane amounts of money. I don't think we're going to be spending £100 million on a player. Like, I think we might
Does
well spend
people
something less
really
for the
want
club.
Chouameni at United?
What's your view on Chouameni, G-Wolf?
Yeah, when you go,
like
we'll do this,
him.
G-Wolf, then I'll get the next person on. Like,
how
what do you think?
How many games have you seen? How many games in 90 minutes of Chouameni have you seen in your life? If you're honest, if you're really
only
honest.
in Champions League, I've seen him. I've seen him play. Don't get me wrong; he's a good player, but is he what we need right now? Like, we've had Casemiro. Like, at the beginning, he didn't really cut it, but he came on. Like, he's shown us why he was a Real Madrid player. Now he's leaving, and we're going to go and get another one.
A lot younger, though.
A lot younger, but
hell of a different.
It's going to cost around about what, 250, 300 in wages.
Yeah, that's kind of, if you think about it, Conor Gallagher's getting 200k a week.
Well, he's currently on 200k base plus 50 add-ons, so 250.
It's market values, like, if you're looking at buying players that are genuinely top class, you're going to have to spend a lot of money on their salary. That's no. If you don't do that, you have to buy mediocre players, or you have to buy players that are potential. If you want to get the finished article, like Semenyo and Mike Gahey didn't go, let's go to City because they're offering us less. They went there because they got a bumper pay package. I don't think United need to overspend, but you have to look at it and say there's a minimum you have to offer. You can't offer, say, too many a big pay reduction, or you can't offer Semenyo or Gahey
want to
like
come
half
to
the
United.
amount.
That's another thing as well. Like,
Yeah, of course, but we are talking in the hypothetical that he is.
If he comes, I support him, but I think we need Premier League proven.
Final question, G-Wolf. Who would you get out the door this summer?
You got Dalot.
Why is Dalot the first person? I don't understand, because right back.
I really hate Dalot. I really don't like him. Like, he's been here for a number of years, and he's only assisted one in every season.
He's not the biggest problem in our squad, though. Okay, I'm just going to defend him. I think it's not the biggest issue we got.
I still get rid of him. We need better in that position.
And who else would you get rid of?
Possibly Dalot. I think he's a bit injury prone. I think we need to get rid of him.
Dalot's the opposite of injury prone. He's available every game, so he's going to.
Don't get me wrong. Hey, look, I just don't like Dalot. That's on a me.
Yeah, that's allowed. Yeah, that's allowed as well. That I've mentioned this a couple of times before. Like, sometimes I can come on here, like, for example, with different players, and sometimes I say, I just don't like him. It's not like based on football. It's not based on anything. It's just sometimes sometimes you're just allowed. Like, I was really happy when we got Anthony. I know, laugh of me, but when we got him, I was so stoked. And my brother, who is a West Ham supporter, he was just like, I don't think he will be anything. I don't like his face. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't like his face? He's like, he looks like a douchebag. And I was like, okay. Like, everyone is entitled to their opinion. That's what's cool about football. Like, I think it's cool of you, G-Wolf, to, when you get asked, why would you sell Dalot? No, I just don't like him. Like, sometimes
most of the goals, if you look, most of the goals have come down our right side. Or it's been where Dalot is, and he could have, like, literally, he's too slow for me. Defensively, he's too slow.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
I just don't like him.
Yeah, I agree with this as well. Like, I've never been a fan of Dalot, but he is like so far down the pecking order of, because one thing I do know is that he does love the club. He has a positive impact on everyone on the training page. He gives 100%. All this. Ain't no hollaback.
My God, I can't mute it.
I have to mute that,
I
G-Wolf.
love that song. But yeah, I think that's why we ask these questions to each other. Like, who would you get rid of? There's no right and wrong. Like, we would all get rid of different players, keep different players, and buy different players. So yeah, I just don't see. Yeah, I would also like to get Diogo Dalot out, but that's we need like who was it? The guy we had, Tom, and WDB and Rich. Like, I would be getting like a backup goalkeeper, like new fullback, left back, because we know Shaw will his body next season will be so crumbled, and 3 midfielders, left winger maybe, a striker. We need so many things, so I would fix all of them, and then maybe
The thing, yeah, I agree. Also, I just
have
thought it's
got a
funny that
question,
Adaptation
by
is
the
like
way.
literally
Why did
saying
I
the
get
opposite,
muted? Because that weren't my music, bro.
wasn't it?
No, it's not my phone.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it was
thought
you.
were-
I know.
somebody said it
I was
was.
thinking
Oh,
about
sorry.
who is who loves.
No,
brilliant
it
music
wasn't.
like
No.
that. Ain't no hollaback.
Sorry, G. I
Very
thought
rich.
it was. Sorry, G. Wolf.
Wow.
shit.
And I'm
This one
getting
shit.
cues saying DJ G Wolf in the house.
No, I thought it
You
was
look like a
Not
DJ on that
me.
board, though. You look like a DJ on that board, though. You can spin some records.
Okay. It seems like yeah, in a weird twist that Dalot is the subject of conversation again. But I think it's like an issue that no Man United, if we let Dalot go, we probably have no right back in a year's time, knowing the way we replace players. So cheers, G Wolf. We're good.
Cheers, bro.
Are you up for conversation same time next week?
Yeah, definitely do.
Have a good evening, G Wolf.
And you, bro. Take it easy,
Yeah.
guys.
It's always lovely to
Laters.
see you, Wolf.
Yeah, sorry, G Wolf. I don't know why I blame G Wolf. It's probably because of track record, I think. It's a bit like Roy Keane getting a booking
Track
in the first
record,
2 minutes. It's because you think,
Did you
I
just say
still-
track and record?
yeah.
Oh,
There you go. A couple of
You see Agile Beast. You see, put up Agile Beast's comment as well. Like, I love me some Hollaback Girl. It's been years since I've heard that song. I actually love that. That's like a guilty pleasure song.
Would you, if G was in the chat, said, would you take Wan-Bissaka back? I don't know. Who knows what he would do? But we're going to bring on a new caller as well, new to the channel as well. Kawin has been in the comments. I don't know if you agreed 100% with what G Wolf was saying, but
Paulman Hackney.
welcome to the channel, Kawin. How are you doing?
Would you
I'm
take
good, and you?
Paulman Hackney at 6?
Are you? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, there's a lot I don't agree with. I mean, first of all, if your brother thinks that Anthony's face has a bit of a bad look on him, I don't think you should ever watch someone like Frank Ribery play football. You know,
Yeah.
he's not got the face. He's not got the face, and your brother won't like him either.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree. I mean, I think maybe I could just jump on the Dalot conversation. You know, I'm a big supporter of Dalot because when I grew up supporting Manchester United, most of the time as a kid you support the best players. You know, Cantona, Robson, Becks, Giggs, and when you get older, you realize players like Gary Neville are really important, and in some form. Dalot represents that, but I just want to say I've been watching football for a long time. I totally disagree that people think that Dalot's only asset is athleticism. Have you guys not been watching the games this season, or even for the last few seasons? Do you guys? Can anyone actually tell me what Dalot's actually good at? Because I can tell you, most people they can't tell you because they don't know.
So what's your view, Cohen?
No, I'm asking you guys.
Now let me ask you, Cohen, please. What's your view on Dalot?
I think he's a very good footballer. I think he's one of the better fullbacks in the Premier League. And it really depends on what you're looking at when it comes to a fullback. If you're looking for someone who's good on both ends of the field, so defensively and attacking wise, then Dalot is a player that should be in your squad. That's what I think of him. I think he's very good at receiving the ball. He's got a really strong weight on his side. I'm a big believer in height to weight ratio. His height and weight automatically puts him in a category of someone that can play in a back three, even for that matter. I thought he should have even gotten that chance under Amorim, but he's got the ability to receive the ball, something that we need in our team. He's an outlet in that way. They often play the ball in team hard as hell because they know he can receive it, and he can take it on the back foot and on the turn as well. Not many players in our defense can do that. And playing it into the midfield as well, one of his more important roles. I understand that we are not going to get the assists from him, but I ask you, we are the third. I think we scored the third most goals in the league. I'll ask you, do you think we have a fullback issue with assists, or do we have a forward line issue? Because when you have a Mbuma who's not firing at the moment, you don't have anyone else to throw on there. There's no one else.
What's your view on his final ball?
Dallow's final ball. I don't think he gets enough opportunities to put his foot on the end of those. I will say though that there are times where he does frustrate me, where he gets the ball out wide in the final third, where he can send the ball in, but he doesn't. That happens often. I understand that is an issue, but again, I just think that Dalot is a strong footballer. He's nowhere near a problem for this club right now. If you're thinking about selling Dalot, then you should be projecting for the 2029 season or 2028 season. We need 8 to 12 players in this team in order to compete. If I have to run off the names of the players that aren't even playing in Man City's midfield, you're going to turn around and tell me, well, whoa, we are really thin. We need to sign 8 to 12 players. And even after that, we have to then look at, what do we do with Harry Maguire? What do we do with Luke Shaw in 2 years' time? What do we do with players that are aging in our squad? We need to fix the squad first. Dalot is not a problem.
So, Kerwin, just following on from that. So we have a pot this summer. First, I'd like to know how many midfielders you'd like to sign and who they would be. And also, to the question that we've been asking everyone today, who would be the other reinforcements, and do you have names?
Well, for me, squad building is really about looking at the balance of what the characteristics of the players are. So automatically, for me personally, if I start at the top of the field, we have 2 small wide men, Amad Diallo and Mbeumo, and we have 1 big wide man, Cunha. Cunha is about 1.83 meters. When you have small players like Amad, Mbeumo, what's the guy's name from Man City that everyone loves?
Doku
as well. Small players, they have to be an outlier in order to be effective in the front line in terms of goal scoring and assists. They don't get many. Go look at it through the history of football. If you want to be a small player and you want to be an ultimate goal scorer, you have to be an outlier. There aren't many. There are only a few. So we need to sign another big man up top. Dogu fulfills that role. If you have Cunha, Mbeumo, Amad, and another big wide man, someone who can just glide past a fullback. We don't want Amad and Mbeumo struggling against Everton because they're playing against bigger lads. Like, listen, Grealish defended Amad in the Old Trafford game. He defended against Amad and Mbeumo along with Drewsbury Hall, 2 bigger lads, and they just couldn't go past him. That's all about, that's what it's about. When small players have to go up against a bigger player, they have to put their foot on the ball a lot. They can't just take a touch and brush the player aside with their arm. That doesn't happen. They have to be very skillful. So you need another big man like a Semenyo, the guy from Aston Villa, Morgan Rogers. Now listen.
What about Diamanda?
Diamanda is a short player, and a player, when I look at some of the comps, when I look at some of the footage of him,
he's 5'11".
Yeah, that's still not a big man for me. Well, in a sense, yes. But when I look at him, one of the biggest issues for me when I look at Diamande, his touch is very inconsistent. And when I say his touch, I'm talking about his dribbling touch. That's a problem. If a player's got the ball stuck at his feet and he doesn't know what to do, he's going to do something stupid, and the opposition's going to take the ball off him, or he's going to pass the ball weirdly to one of our players, and it's not going to come off. You need someone who's going to have a touch that's going to be perfect. Look at Brian Mbeumo. If someone had to characterize Brian Mbeumo's skill set when he first arrived to Manchester, they'll probably tell you the best thing about him is that he's got probably the best touch. Like in the first few games when we saw him play, his first touch is amazing. Yeah. Recently, his touch has been bad. every time he tries to trap the ball, he struggles a little bit. And for me, that
Can I
says
say
that,
something
listen,
about? Sorry.
Yeah, go. You can speak.
Yeah, no. First of all, like, you're making so many intelligent and good points. By the way, I like the way you speak. I like the way you, because we all have different opinions. But what I don't like when people have different opinions, they just say an opinion and they don't tell why they have that opinion. And you were really good at like explaining why you think the way you think. So credit to you for that. So yeah, I loved listening to you. Yeah, I agree with you. For example, with Dalot, like I said, I won't like. There are things that I don't like about him, but I agree with you. Like, there are
Well,
like
what don't you
8.
like about him?
No, I can come back to that. I'm just saying.
Let me just say this. I really
Yeah.
want to understand what it is about Dalot that fans don't like. You tell me.
Yeah, I
Open
can
up to
say
me and
that.
tell
I
me
just
what
want
it
to
is
say
about
I
his
agree.
game.
I agree with the, like, we need 8 to 12 players first, and then maybe think about Dalot in 2028. I 100. When you said that, like, that's what 100% my opinion as well. Like, there are so
Well, listen,
many
let me
things.
clarify. I would
So
not
many
look at
things to
Dalot.
fix.
I would not
No,
look at
no,
Dalot
I
in
know.
2028.
I'm just
in
saying.
2028. I would
I'm
let him
just saying.
retire at this club as it stands.
But yeah, the things that I don't like about him, but like I said, I don't even know why we're talking about him, because there are like so many things we need to, like, I
think it's a
like
point
his
of
I like his
education. I think it's a point of education
attitude.
for the viewers.
Okay,
It's a
okay.
point of
Well,
education
Why
for the viewers.
I
to
can
be
say
fair,
people-
I think,
yeah,
to be
I can-
fair, I think it's an opinion. I think
I can
it's
say what I don't
No,
like.
no. Listen, I'm gonna be very straightforward now, guys.
quickly, Kerwin.
And I know this.
But
and
you're
I know this
you
might
are
offend you.
entitled to your opinion, but so is everyone else.
Fair enough. That's why
I can
asked
say
you
what I
first to
think.
tell me. So
I can say why I don't.
Okay.
Why I don't. Yeah. So, like, why I don't rate him that much, and I can tell you, and that's my opinion. I grew up watching Serie A with really smart defenders.
Which year?
So that's
Which years? You have to give us the years.
the early noughties, like 2004, 2005, 2006, 2002, and also
It's
like
it's a strong year. Strong years in
yeah,
Serie A.
yeah. But my point is, there's a lot of things I like about Dalot, by the way. So there are a lot of things. So that's why he's not the problem for me, but he's not the solution either. But I'm going to say what I don't like. Okay, he switches off. He's the one when
I agree.
when we are losing 3-0, he is not okay. He gets so affected. So he's one of them, like Maguire, like Lindelof, like those players that get their head down and they become shit. Like, when something goes against them, they become poor. When they are good. No, but this is opinion. I'm not right.
I'm not sure if I have to
I'm
ask.
not right.
Let me ask you. Let me ask this last question. How many times this season, when we were bad, was it due to Dalot's lack of strong performance?
I don't think he helped.
I'm asking you. How many times this season, when we were bad, was it Dalot's fault? Because all I remember
a lot
was
of
people
times,
complaining that we were bad
he
because
did
of
a
Dalot,
lot of
but
mistakes
everyone
on the
was
right
bad.
hand side. But you have to let me say why. You can't say why don't you like Dalot, and when I try to say it, you interrupt me while saying it. I need to say why I don't. It's no problem. We are just engaged, No, not engaged.
Yeah, we're engaging, aren't we, in conversation?
Oh, okay. Yeah, one thing I also don't like, because when I see other fullbacks, and this goes for Shaw as well. One thing I loved about Shaw is one of the things I don't like about Shaw anymore, and that's the thing. We say, why was Rashford so amazing that 1 year? Because he was playing with Shaw, and Shaw was overlapping. Why is wingers away amazing? Why is Vinicius good? Why is certain wingers good? Why were Salah so much better with Trent? And when Trent has gone, why is he so much more shit now? He looks like a different player. Dalot and Shaw, they don't have Shaw has the brain, but he doesn't have the body anymore. Dalot has never had the brain. When I watch him offensively, he just stands there. So you can say he is joining the attack, but he is kind of joining it as a cone. He's not doing any smart runs. So this is my issue with when we play with, for example, Masraoui, he was poor last game. No worries about that. But what I don't like about Dalot is just when we are offensive, he's just standing there. He's not making the runs in behind. So that's why I think, I'm not saying it's down to Dalot, but I'm just saying if we had a Dumfries, if we had a really good right back, and Bumo and Ahmad would benefit of that because we would be 2v2 or 3v2. But my point is, there's I don't have this list on Dalot. Like, there are so many things I don't like, and I don't have so many things there's some things I like, and there's some things I don't like, and that's why I don't think it's shit. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's a problem. I think, like you say, we should be buying 8, 10, 12 players, and in my mind, I want to think. I don't even want to be like discussing Dalot is okay, but like, we have so many problems in our squad. And one thing I can never take away from Dalot, I know he loves the club. I know he works his socks off. I don't know him personally, but I know he works his socks off every training, hard tackles, stuff like that. So I don't want to get rid of him, because I think there are a lot of positive side to him. And we all have seen how Sesko has talked very good about, since coming to the club, that Dalot has taken him in and giving him the same regiment that Ronaldo taught him. So yeah, I think there's positives, but yeah, we all like different players. And if you ask me about a player that I like, I will be kind of like you as well. We are like there are players that I like that I will be like.
Listen, I just want to clarify.
I love this. I love this.
I'm defending Dalot not because I like him. Understand that? Like, I believe that we need a glorified, like, proper attacking right back for the future, for this Premier League 2028 project, and hopefully for trying to compete for a Champions League trophy as well. I 100% agree with that. It's just the idea that we got to sell this guy that's like easy now 11 every weekend. When we get a new right back in, he can allow that right back to take his time to get in to the rhythm of Premier League football if he is from outside of England, and also have someone there that can be a voice in the changing room, because he's one of the I think he's the second longest serving player now at the club, after Luke Shaw. So
I think there's a lot of people think either, Dalot. So it's still like progression and improvement can be made. I was going to say one thing about Dalot is, from my perspective, is that there's zero drama with Dalot. He's probably one of these players that if we replaced him, it's just as likely we find another player that has a different skill set but different flaws as well. And if there's a significant upgrade, I do actually like this idea of, whether it's Bruno Fernandes or it's any other player that potentially will leave the club in a few years' time, I do like getting the player in to replace them first, to then have that gradual transition. If Man United said, right, we're selling Dalot, we're buying a new right back, I'd think Liverpool did the same thing, didn't they? And it's taken a bit of time and it's caused disruption to the squad. I would much rather get Dalot's replacement maybe next year, because I think we've got other issues to sort out this year, and let that person gradually take over the role without us noticing, rather than like we're selling Dalot. But and before we get in another caller, Corinne, I was going to say, have you got any thoughts, because it says a talking point, on head coach situation next year? If you have no strong views either way, that's fine, but do you have an idea of your preference? Or,
to be honest, I don't even have preference for players specifically, but when it comes to managers, I think that's maybe more easier because there's less managers to pick from when it comes to players. But I don't think that we should be really concentrating hard on finding the out-and-out replacement. Because if you look at Real Madrid and if you look at Chelsea's model when under Abramovich, when their squads, I mean, Real Madrid's squad has always been built. Chelsea's squad under Abramovich has always had a host of players. When you have the right players in place, then you can do what sorry, I forgot the gent's name in the top right corner with the purple background.
WDB.
When we've built our squad, then we can do the manager merry-go-round thing. Then you can go select the manager. He doesn't work, fire him after 3 months. That's not a problem, because you're not worried about the money that you're spending on the managers and firing them, because you've already got your squad built. You're not worried about transfer fees. And I think it's more important to keep Carrick next season to stabilize the club. Because, I mean, I don't know if you guys, I mean, I don't know what work you guys do, but whatever work you do, whenever it comes to building something, you can't just build something with a snap of your fingers. It has to grow organically. And one of the most important things that can be damaging to an organization or to a team is constant change in the wrong places. And these players have been through a lot. Think about players like Harry Maguire and Bruno Fernandes. How many managers have they seen? How many interims have they seen? We just want to stabilize it for one more year, and then you can go out and look for your manager. I don't care who you get. Just sign the right players. That's more important to me.
It's a fair point.
Yeah, I think that's what the club is thinking as well at this point.
Oh, and just by the way, on something that happened before I came on screen, or on the stream, just on the style of Carrick's play, it's very difficult to identify the style of the team, or not identify, to look at the style of the team when you're missing key players. So like under Amorim, you didn't have certain players and people complained that's why the style isn't working. When we had Dogu playing under Carrick in the same system we're playing right now, we played really well. Bear in mind, that was at the beginning when he first started off against City and against Arsenal. But the idea that Carrick doesn't have a nice style of football, I think is kind of, I think it's a little reactionary.
But
Yes,
he was the manager at Middlesbrough, remember?
Yes,
and he was in the training team for Solskjaer. He was very influential in how they played as well. And
that was a good playing team. That was a good playing team. That was a good playing team.
What?
I understand that was a good looking team. I understand that people wanna go after aesthetics in football, but sometimes you just need to do the basics. As long as we can trap balls, our dual opposition players, and have personality, then the basic football technical skills will get us
I
through it.
agree. I agree.
The idea that you want to
think
go and play a style of football. I mean, if you want to try and play PSG style of football in the Premier League, it's not going to last with those type of players.
I agree. I've talked about
you can't
this.
throw Vitinha in the midfield by us. It's not going to work.
I've talked about this, you see, because you guys remember I said I've always been, like, for years, I've been the style of play. I've gone to the completely different side. So I agree with you, because the last couple of months have made me think that, like, I don't want this style of play. Like you say, like, I'm also in the minority, or what you want to call it. Like, I love the football we played under Solskjaer, not just because I'm Norwegian, but when people say not style of play and Solskjaer didn't have, and it was counter-attacking, and I was like, have you seen Sir Alex Ferguson's team? Like, every time you go and watch a Rooney goal, a Tevez goal, a Ronaldo goal, a Ashley Young goal, it's always like pace, counter-attacking.
Yeah.
What do you want to call it? So
by the way, before Rich takes me off, I just want to say that 08 team with Tevez and them on height to weight ratio, go and look at that squad. That squad will physically outduel every single team in the Premier League at the moment. And that's what we need to aim for. Big players who are technically good and strong. That's what we need. None of the small players. If you want a small player who can play in the pocket, you have your Kobe, you have your Bruno, you have your Mason Mounts. You want to get players on those kind of like characteristics to play there. They have to be consistent with their passing.
Do you like Aguma?
Kobe's not there. Sorry?
Do you like Aguma? Because we were talking about physics. Every time WDB is kind of an advocate, and I'm also that, for a guy named Aguma who plays for Sevilla. I think he's a he's a monster.
I'm always skeptical about La Liga players, but I will say this. I've said this year, we need to go to La Liga and find a player who's 1.85 meters, and this is exactly who you're talking about. This guy's 1.85 meters. I see that. If I check his weight as well, those are the type of players you need to go, because players that are that tall in La Liga have been playing most of their senior career. If they have been playing in La Liga, have been playing with the ball. They come to the Premier League and all of a sudden they look like a masterful player. But big players in the Premier League sometimes struggle. That's why a player like Chouameni, I did some research on him recently. I noticed that a lot of his strong performances come against English clubs. as opposed to weaker performances against some Spanish clubs in the Champions League. So for me, that says that this is a guy who's outdueling the English teams. I haven't seen him play against English teams because I don't really watch. I mean, I stopped watching football since we've been bad over the last 2 years. But every time when I look at a player like Tchouameni, I think to myself, okay, this is a player who's physically outdueling players in England in the Champions League. So you would probably be the perfect fit to come to Manchester.
What do you think about this? Because I think, in my opinion, this is comment of the day.
Yes, listen. I think that the modern game is the modern game is the.
Imagine every game we watch now in Champions League, or if it's a Premier League. Every time we watch, the only time we see tiki-taka or gegenpress is the teams that try to do it and they get counter-attacked and lose the game.
Of course, yes.
We don't see. So I agree with this comment 1000%. That
football evolves and changes, doesn't it? Like, how many teams do you say try and play it from the back and get caught out? And then you look at football's always changing. And I think with this one we saw that Manchester United last year. I agree with Cohen. Manchester United last year were getting physically bullied by some teams.
Yes,
and that was something we needed to address. And that's something that isn't unique to.
And that makes me actually. Actually, Kervin, do you know who Boadi is from Liga?
Yes, of course I do. I like Boadi because for me he's got the slim ball. But the problem with Boadi's in them
very young though.
Yes, exactly. For all the midfield players that we've been linked with, it doesn't matter who we sign. If you don't bring in someone comparable to the experience of Casemiro. So when I say comparable, I mean like when he first came. So someone who's 27, 28, who's played it. But it's not about the experience that you have playing on the field and the years that you have. It's about the mental fortitude you have when you get on the field. Because when you are on a championship run like Arsenal are at the moment, do you know that Arteta would probably give his left arm away for some experience from Man City, someone that's won a championship, to come into his team that can just pick their heads up and not care what the narrative is, not care what's happening on the field, and just say, F this, I'm going to go out, I'm going to bully everyone, and I'm going to go do my thing. And that's what Manchester United won league titles on. You know, like, I know people don't want to be a moments team, but sometimes you have to show in moments that you can just go out and win the game, because the modern game is slowly developing into basketball, and it's low block against low block. Run back, run forward. Run back, run forward. You want to do the tiki-taka things on either end, it's difficult.
Yeah, I think
I think a lot of people get frustrated, but they forget that Manchester United used to play against low blocks decades ago with an incredible team, and it's still difficult. That's the reason why teams use a low block.
It is. And that's why, just to highlight the
team struggles against the low block. That's why it's a very good tactic if you haven't got the players to match up with other teams. And I think United, the things we find difficult, other teams find difficult.
If you want to defeat a low block, the best bet you have is, that's why I say when you build the squad, it's about fitting different pieces together. If we have a big man in Sesko, he's the perfect kind of striker for the low block, because then you just need a limb to get on the end of the ball. That's why people talk about Haaland. He doesn't know how to play with his players, but low blocks, and that's what Man City play against all the time. He's gonna get his foot, his head, any part of his body to that ball. Yeah. That's why players like Gyökeres, who are maybe top heavy, they've got the long upper body, but maybe shorter legs compared to someone like a Sesko who's got that long leg build.
Yeah. Gyökeres is like literally getting drowned in the Premier League.
And another thing is also, it's like arm strength is another big thing, that you have to look at. Like if you don't have the upper body strength to push players off, like Kobe did that against Chelsea in our last game, and people were like, oh, look how good is Kobe against Chelsea. But the reason why you can highlight him against Chelsea is because he's coming up against two small midfielders in Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez, and that's why Chelsea
Lavia.
They're strong footballers, but they're small.
Yeah, and also you remember when we had Mourinho, when we had Pogba and Matic in the midfield, like it's no reason why we were second that year.
There's a big reason. It's difficult. Someone mentioned this point in a comment, and they said that a small player can go past a big player. It's not that I disagree with that. I 100% agree with that. All I'm saying is that if you think that the last 10 small players you saw that are good are able to get past a big player, I'm telling you to go back and look at it again. And I guarantee you that probably only 1 out of those 10 players could probably go past that bigger player 5 out of 10 times. Most of the time, they have to put their foot on the ball and recycle it or play it off. Player 1, 2, link up play. But yeah, you need big players in the modern game, and big players are not like they used to be back in the day. They kind of resemble Peter Crouch in my opinion today, because Peter Crouch had amazing feet, in my opinion, for a tall striker, and that's what you pretty much want from your bigger players today.
True. Cohen, thanks for getting involved tonight. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Everyone in
maybe
the chat
being a bit,
send a big W for him.
aggressive.
It was an excellent insight and comments, and everyone give him a W. Come on.
Thanks, guys.
Great being here. Appreciate that.
Cheers, man.
And like Gasmon says here, if you can bring out that comment, Gasmon Cantona.
Which comment? So
the
even
last
Pep
one, good point. Yeah, this is a thing. This is like a whole other show, of course, but I really
changed the way he plays for a while now. I think Pep has been changing a lot.
Pep is, I'm sorry to say it, but one of the best in the world. He smells when football changes, and he kind of does it right before everyone else. He's like the forefront of fashion kind of thing. And this is also such a good point, because I love the way football is going now, because I've been bored for about 10 years since Pep did the tiki-taka.
Do you know the most frustrating thing is? It's not that Pep did tiki-taka, it's that every other club wanted to do exactly the same.
Yes.
And it got two. And it's if every club plays exactly the same, then ultimately the team that's got the bigger budget and the better players is going to be.
Exactly.
I like to see different styles. I like to see an identity with different. And I know it sounds a bit of a cliche, but I like to see clubs play different ways. You know, when you said style of play, my mind was instantly going, you got a style of play, but I like adaptability. That when you said that, okay, we scraped a win against Everton, but I think we managed the game well against Everton. You know, we kind of like hit them on the break. We kind of drew them onto us. And I quite like it that every game's different. Arsenal tried to batter the crap out of us, and we just went resolve, defend, and then the game opened up, and it felt like a 90s game, Man United against Arsenal this season, that 3-2. It was like one of the best games I've watched for a long time. And I think with this one, the difficulty is going to be that looking at our squad, I think United just need to look at having a versatile squad. If you've got too many in there, or you've got BALEBA, or you've got Wharton, I think these are all actually quite good players, because against different teams, you can actually play different. And also, if the game's not going well, you can bring a different sort of midfielder off the bench. So you can actually change things. So I'm kind of like agreeing with a lot of comments today. When people said that Nagelsmann changes too many things, I was actually thinking that could be a good thing, though. That could be quite a good thing, that if he changes things. I know change for the sake of change is too much, but I think flexibility is probably my favorite word at the moment, because I've watched quite limited stuff for a few years.
I agree.
Yeah, so luckily Everton stayed 11v11, because 11v11 they're beatable, but they're a different team with 10.
I just love football with pace. Like, so many things have been taken from us with VAR. You remember when I watched Sunderland, the Tyne-Wear derby, Sunderland Newcastle, people were smashing into each other. There would have been like 4 against 4 at the end of every game now. There has been so many things that have been lost, I feel like, through VAR and through different things and yada yada, and players being overplayed and stuff like that. But if there's one thing I'm happy about, is that we are seeing clubs playing with wingers again, like proper wingers, like going down, smashing in leg. What's it called in England? When you put in a ball in behind, cross. Oh my God. But yeah, we are seeing more of that now, and lo and behold, like I hope it continues, because we all have different like things we like, and I've always liked more, like Rich says, like the funny thing about watching football before is like, oh, they have this coach, they play this football, how would they be against each other? Now it's almost like everyone plays out from the back, everyone tries to play one type of football, and the other team is like
do you remember
in the bus, like every game
Scotland?
is so
Like Helgi, do you remember Scotland playing out from the back against, I think it was Switzerland, and they just tried to play out from the back, about 4 or 5 passes, got nowhere, and then I think it was either a good finish or a lucky finish from what's his name, the guy who used to play for Liverpool. And I was just thinking, like, they just got caught out. They lost that game. They got knocked out in the group stages. And I just think it's just like because they haven't got the players to do that. And I quite like it that even though like Arsenal were doing, like, say, Stoke football for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, 6 months, I didn't like it, but I don't like Arsenal. But I thought maybe this is actually the only way of Arsenal getting over the line this season. And it's like they got worked out, just a bit too early for them, and it might be they miss out. But I think that for me, it was an effective tactic for Arsenal. But again, it's the same thing, isn't it? It's a limited tactic. It's like one way of playing. And like, Shaqiri, cheers, Bilal.
Rich, even a couple of years. Oh, this isn't actually a couple of years ago. This is 8 years ago. Wow, time flies by. There was 6 months where I was like training kids in football. They were from 6 years old to 10 years old. So 6 years old to 10 years old, 8 years ago. And
difficult job.
What?
Difficult job, I said.
Yeah. And then I was like, I wonder how the level is, because I've never trained kids this young since I was a young kid myself. And then I just said, like, okay, start playing. And I shit you not, I was standing like this because the keeper was coming out and like receiving. They were playing like from the back, like with a ball playing goalkeeper, and they were like 6 and 8 years old. And I was like, this has gone too far, man. This has gone too far. So yeah, I agree with you, Rich, that it's bad. It's bad because it's like, when we grew up, it's like the keeper is holding the ball and like chucking it out as far as possible towards the other goal. But then I was a youth kids trainer or whatever, and then the kids are like, the keeper's coming out and then they're passing it back in triangles, like back and forth, and I'm like, oh my god, this is Pep's doing all the way to Norway.
Do you think that's why we're looking at certain players, because we're thinking about where's football going to go? Because I know I saw this comment. I just want to comment quickly, saying Turkey wasn't Premier League proven. I think when we looked at Turkey, because Turkey played against us in the Europa League, didn't he, in a couple of games, but also the French league is pretty physical. And I think what you could say in terms of Premier League, I think the Premier League thing saying it's bullshit, I don't think it's bullshit. I think it depends on the individual players. Like, if you look at, say, like Turkey, he was quite physical, quite strong. He was really good at driving the ball. He scored that goal when they had 10 men against us. You can look at that and go, every attribute Turkey's got, I think that Turkey would have suited really well. And we've seen that as well. He's got quite a nice blend of really good technique, but it's physical strength as well. I think he's an excellent signing for Man City. And I said this 12 months ago, I thought he'd be a very good signing for Man United and quite a cost-effective one. But I think even like the most, say if we go back to, say, comparing 90s players, but if we're talking about more physical, Zidane had amazing technique, probably one of the best players in the world, but he was strong and physical. You couldn't bully Zidane. Zidane was he was not a dirty player, but he was physical and strong, a bit like Roy Keane.
Great at headbutting, wasn't he?
Yeah, exactly. You couldn't say something.
I just caught the end of his career. Unfortunately, I caught the end of Zidane's career. The only thing I've seen of him was the headbutt, which is really annoying because he was a great player.
He was excellent. He was probably possibly one of the best midfielders I've seen. Just a blend of like, But what I'm saying is, like, do you think United need to look at that, like, look at the physicality aspect? Because people are talking about, say, like, BALEBA is strong, physical.
Physicality.
Do you know, it's interesting. I've always gone for, like, look, I can even talk just on FIFA. My centre backs have to be around 6'4" to 6'6". I've always gone for that. Even my midfielders have to be at the very least 6 foot, because I go for height. I just think it's easier to control.
That was the scouting criteria.
Control the game. I go for height and I go for pace. They're the two things I always look at. If you don't have height and pace, I'm not interested. So And I think in the Premier League, you need that, and you need broader players.
So you think Scholes is shit? No, I'm just joking. I know you mean generally. I know you mean generally.
Yeah,
I'm just joking.
But Scholes had like big centre backs behind him.
I think you can have a couple
players
of
around him.
I think you can have a couple of smaller paces.
But I agree because you remember Lorenzo Insigne?
Yeah,
from Italy.
Short guy.
I think the way you guys think, like I've never really rated like small players in general, and I know that's weird to say, but I agree. Like when we are linked to, like, I don't know, and it might be also because I'm 6'2", and when I've played football my whole life, it's like when I meet a team, and it's a bunch of like, no offense, but like Amad Diallo and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't care if you played for like higher levels. I will just smash into you and they will fly. Like, and I know that he will probably dribble me. I know the arguments that, oh, what about Messi? What about, I know Maradona. But I'm just saying we are just talking preference, not talking facts. Like we are correct. No, there's multiple ways. We are just saying, I agree. Like I want to have. That's why I've always like respected Mourinho's teams and stuff. Like when Mourinho was in his prime with Chelsea and stuff like that. Look at the players that he got, like SCN, like Drogba, like Terry. Like these were men. Like John Obi Mikel Ballack. There were so many. Like even Kalou and Malouda on the wingers were physical monsters. Like I've always. And like we say, it's
David
just
Silva.
Yeah, and
I thought David Silva was quite a strong short player.
Yeah, so you have a lot of good small players as well, of course. But yeah, just a preference. But I agree, and like you say, there's David Silva. You have lots of good players like Iniesta, Xavi, stuff like that. But
So yeah.
So there are good players like Ribéry was tiny. So yeah, we don't need to name every good tiny player every
just
ever made. But yeah, but
it's down to preference, and I think you've got to have a good balance. You've got to have a good balance, of course, right? It makes sense. But psychologically, if you're looking at a shorter team, you've won the game in the tunnel. You've won the game. Shithousery used to win us the game.
I say that though. Roy Keane was shorter than Vieira. We still won that one. But I think as long as you got some fight in them,
he was mental. He was mental.
Do you think though what we've seen is that there is definitely a shift in Man United's transfer policy to getting more physical players? Like
we have.
It does seem like Aiden Headman is like one in terms of player coming through. You've got
I love him.
Dorgu is like physical, strong, pacey. Actually, Benjamin Sesko is actually pretty strong for. When you look at his build, I think he's stronger as well.
He just
uses his physique lean a bit more than
he just looks lean, but that guy.
I love a Traore incoming.
Yeah, just by
I'm joking,
all of
by
those.
the way.
Yeah,
I'm joking. I don't want it.
I know, but yeah,
he's awful in the final third.
But like VDB said, that it's when you, especially if you have done the paid the money and gone to the Old Trafford tour. I've walked out the tunnel, and when I stand in that tunnel, there was like they had two sides, so it was pretty lame. But I went into the experience as you well imagine, and we were like this, and I was like looking over my shoulder. I was standing, and I was just like looking at the other side, and I was like, it must have such an impact when you're standing on there waiting for a game. If your team is against the small players who do outliers because they are, true. That's true, because football is a technical game. So the small players who does good are technically outliers. It's not 50-50. It's not 70-30. So you are correct. Like it's not, it's basic outliers, but it comes from football is a physical game. First of all, like we use our feet, yes. But all the things like running, coming to the ball first, legs, like all of those things. So when you're in in the tunnel going out for a game, you can have like a what do you say, WDB? You said like you said
Psychologically,
yeah.
the game in the channel. But I think also, look, back in the day, tiki taka, right? There wasn't too much need for strong physical players because the movement was fast and quick. I think the game's changing, and thankfully it's changing because now there's a bit more balance. You can still have that fluid movement, but you've also got to have physical aggression. I want to see that physical aggression. I want to see layers. Otherwise, it becomes very monotone to watch. And there are only one or two teams who can perfect that tiki-taka football. Everyone else falls behind.
That was what exactly what I was going to say. Like, there was one, like Barcelona did it, and then, like Rich says, the whole world tried to copy it after
they had
that.
some big players.
But has there actually been any teams, except for maybe City's Pep when he first came? There hasn't been a lot of, like, after tiki-taka, everyone tried to play tiki-taka for years, like the last 10 years with the goalkeeper. But if you really think about it, who has been really good at it, actually, except for that Barcelona side and Pep's?
I would say, though, like with the Barcelona side, they were so good. You've got a team that's won like the Euros, the World Cup, the Euros back to back. You've got Lionel Messi in that team. They could have played whatever way they wanted to and won everything. I think
Amorim could have was the coach.
No, do you know what I mean? Though, just to make a point is that Manchester United, every team in the Premier League is playing 4-4-2. Manchester United has the best players, like man for man, for probably about a decade from like when they won it with Cantona, Keane.
Barcelona did have.
But do you think Man United could have played a different way, and they'd still be the best team? Like they could have played 4-3-3 and still won the league.
In the final,
I think because I think when you've got the best players, people copy you, but you have got the best players as well. It is a factor. But Bilal, do you want to make some points? I'm just going to get Berber on after you.
Berber!
I was just saying that I think that Barcelona side, they did have some physically strong players. I know he dives quite often.
Puyol must have been the defense end, like Puyol and
he was.
Ramos.
Sergio Busquets, he was quite physically strong.
Yeah.
I know he dived quite often, but he did provide balance.
We had that Danny Alves, who I couldn't stand, who was.
But they have Jorge Alba also was very small.
Was the player called Keita or something? He was quite physically strong.
Oh, I'm definitely going to play. I'm definitely going to play FIFA tonight after this.
I
just hate that Barcelona team because they were honestly too good.
And Piqué, I hated them. Piqué as well. Gerard Piqué was quite tall, dead physically strong.
Oh, la 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 la.
Yeah, I think that people look and go messy, but you have like it's balance, isn't it? You've got, but also they're not under pressure because they've got the ball all the time. So what are you going to do? I don't know.
Like that
final we lost to Barcelona was the worst game I've ever watched because I just got so annoyed. After 5 minutes, I was thinking they didn't even get the ball.
Which one?
The second one. The first one, I think we could have won it.
11.
Yeah, the second one was like being tied to a chair. It was like being tied to a chair, put in a basement, and I was forced to watch like 24 hours of Arteta press conferences. That was horrible.
Yeah, I was 14, and that was the last time I cried watching football.
Oh, I was 14 at the time, ish as well.
So I cried.
Are you born in 94?
6.
Okay. You little young kid. No, I'm just joking.
That's what Corinne's saying. Like Barcelona need balance, don't they? They need some like Busquets. Like you don't replace players like that easily.
Agree.
So, top quality player.
And you saw how City fell apart. They were playing like amazingly, and then Rodri got injured, and they just lost like 10 in a row or something like. So I agree with Kervin's point. Like those sixes and the big players that hold them together, they don't always have to be, because Kante was that player in Leicester, and he was the opposite of big. But you can talk about big players in big, like dominant on the mid in the game, like. Yeah, different sort of dominant, but
he was a leader. Carlos Puyol was the leader.
Bilal, watch Stephanie's comment. She says, "I cry
What'd she
every
say?
Monday night in the pub watching United." Yeah, I
It's
feel
quite
you.
annoying we play on a Monday. Monday night streams are quite fun, but it'd be quite nice to play on a weekend.
How many
Yeah.
times have you played on a Monday?
Bilal, I saw on Twitter that this season we have played as many Monday games as the 5 previous years altogether.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not an 8:15 kickoff though, is it? I hate 8:15 kickoffs.
I have to check. I
Say
hope
it's-
so. I agree.
8
It's no.
It's 8 o'clock.
I feel like we
It's
played Monday night at 8:15 like all week, every match week.
We haven't done a lineup, have we, or anything? Or
No,
make a lineup?
we should have done one.
It's only game tomorrow.
I
We
thought there
haven't
was going
done.
to be a Brighton fan coming on. He was in the chat, and I said the link's there. You just have to click on it about 3 times, but I don't know.
Mr.
Brentford,
B.
Brentford,
Mr.
not
B.
Brighton.
Yeah,
And
Brentford.
by the way, talking about presence, I love talking
Actual
about
London.
positive stuff like heaven. It might be very niche, but I'm excited for tomorrow because I hope he starts and just watch him. And it's weird that he's a defender, but he's so
great.
cool, chill, strong, like massive, like but he's so
Berber.
quick. Yeah, I love him. And it might be
Berber,
weird.
where are you?
Berber.
Let's be having you.
He said,
Get on in a second.
put him on. Put him
We're
on.
going to do one in, one out. Any
Berber,
final comments, Bilal? But we'll try and do this again next week, and we'll try and get
Yeah,
people
Bilal,
in
you must come on
rapidly.
next week
No
as well.
comments.
It's so nice to
No
talk to you,
comments,
Bilal.
Your Honor.
What I
you
thought was quite funny is like one person came on, and basically 95% of their chat was basically addressing some of the things G Wolf
What's
said.
that mean? Is it better?
I was
Are
going
you
to
going to say
say,
something?
did you say what your midfield 3 would be?
Yeah, I did. It was Wharton, BALEBA, and Tonali.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I
If
remember.
If we could have got Anderson, I would have said Anderson. But I think he's going to City.
Any other additions that you'd bring in the summer?
Possibly a centre back because I don't trust De Ligt or Martinez to stay fit. I just think De Ligt's finished. I think he's going to retire.
Yeah, he's had
You got another
He's
Phil
like-
Jones.
He's going to come back at some point, but
Would-
I hope you're wrong because I thought
Would you sign me, Bilal? Would you sign me?
Yeah, of course.
Backup striker for Sesko.
I'd have you in midfield over Garte.
Yeah, we can put
I'm gonna-
we deserve
I'm gonna have to
better in
get Mr.
midfield with
I'm going to
instead
get
of you
Mr. B
guys.
in. And
No,
Bilal,
Mr.
I'm
B,
just
I would have loved to talk to him. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, have you got any question? Do you want to ask one question to Mr. B, and then so we'll get.
Yeah.
Big up, lads. Hope everyone's
big
well.
up.
So
Big up,
Hi,
Steve.
Mr. B.
go for it, Bilal.
Big up the rest of the lads as well. Hope everyone's good.
What do you want to ask Mr. B?
My question was, who's your most dangerous player? Who should United look out for?
Well, obviously Thiago.
Thiago, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the main one. That's the main one, Bilal.
Who's your second most dangerous player?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, well, to be honest, a real playmaker is Damsgaard. If he
Damsgaard,
plays,
the Danish,
yeah, he's quality.
Another question.
World class.
And Sade's quite a threat as well, isn't he, on the flank?
Oh, I love him. I love
He
Sade.
can be. If he actually turns up and does something, yeah. But I mean,
What do you think of Jensen?
otherwise, sorry, mate.
Matthias Jensen.
Who?
Jensen.
Oh, Jensen. Yeah, Jensen. Yeah. Yeah,
Is he
he
a good
hasn't
player?
got a new contract. Yeah, we've got to sign him up to a new contract. We haven't done it yet. We really
Okay.
haven't. You know?
As a Norwegian, what do you think about Kristoffer Ayer? Kristoffer Ayer.
Oh, yeah.
I just say that again.
I think in us, I was talking Oslo dialect, like Oslo. They say like Kristoffer Ayer, and where I'm from, we say Ayer, and where I'm from, we say Kristoffer Ayer. So we talk. Maybe it sounds a bit more German for you guys, but we say Kristoffer Ayer, and we say Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland. And in Oslo they say in Oslo they say Erling. No, in Oslo they say Erling Haaland, and we say Erling Haaland. So it's weird in Oslo. I don't. Yeah, I don't like the way Oslo people.
Haaland's full name is Erling Haaland scored again. That's his full name.
Yeah. Good joke.
Well, he does, doesn't he? He does keep scoring, so
he's amazing.
But no, you said about Aya there, Helga. Is it?
Yeah.
Whatever. Sorry,
Yeah.
Helgi. Sorry.
He's
We
so
signed him
slow.
up to a new deal, but I don't rate him.
No, I don't. I don't either. I don't. So it was a trick question. It was a trick question because I've never rated him. Too awkward, too slow, too.
Yeah.
I feel like a heavy wind would kind of put him off balance. Like he's like a pole on a sailing ship. He's so like easy to put out of balance. I feel like
he is,
and slow and
for a big man, you know.
But
Mr. B, how do you see the game going, and what are your concerns and hopes for the match?
Well, I think we basically have to try and win this one. It is away. I mean, it's at Old Trafford, so it will be tougher. I think last time we played you obviously had Amorim still as manager, and it was easier for us. This time, I'm not so sure. So I'm kind of fearing you guys, you know. But we do need a result. That's the thing. You know, we've had too many draws. We're Draw FC. So
I know I saw that. We could pick up. I was just say, Bilal, thanks for joining us. I'm just going to move you out so I can get another question in the middle of the second. I appreciate it, Bilal. Same time next week, hopefully.
Take care, bro. Yeah, he's good bloke, but he comes on mine as well, my channel and that, my streams and whatever.
He's a good guy. What I want to try and do is because actually it's gone very smoothly this week compared with last week, which was interesting. But I thought this is kind of like a test of the format. But I think once everybody kind of gets used to the format, people can come in and out a little bit more smoothly. But the idea is like 10 or 15 minutes to get.
This is good, Rich. I like it, mate. Brilliant.
But I was going to say that also thanks, Tom, for getting involved in the chat. Tom's in the comments, so big up to you. So this is like your sort of 10-minute section before we get Berber on, who is a bit of a legend as well. We need to get on.
Can I ask a question?
Interrogate Mr. B, so go for it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
So you've
for agreeing. Yeah.
So you've drawn 5 out of your last 6. What would you see? Yeah. What would, because I haven't seen the games. So what would you say is the cause of that, and what do you need to do to fix that into wins?
Well, obviously score some goals at that. I mean, the thing is, we were in the league twice against Everton and still only drew 2-2, which I weren't happy with, to be honest. I thought, you got to win this game at home. 2 games at home. We had Fulham as well, 0-0. That should have been 6-pointer for me, those 2 games, That's what I wanted. And I wasn't happy with that. And, it's 5, okay, we haven't lost for 5 games, or 5 or 6 games, but we still haven't won a game. We need 3 points, not 1 point at the end of the day. And, that's what I'm just wondering what's going to happen with Andrews, because I still think he's too negative. I think he's slightly Arteta-like, and I hate to say that, but he can be slightly Arteta. And,
I agree. He would rather not lose than to go for it. But as we know, it's a very delicate fine line between also being Postecoglou, So it's like it's a fine line to go between. I see that issue at so many managers. Like, do we really go for it? Do we push back? Are we negative? Are we too positive? Are we naive? Are we pessimistic? It's a fine line, but I agree with you that Edwards, he has a lot of good things as well. But one thing I would say to you is also, as my brother is a West Ham supporter, and 8 years older than me, and what I would say in experience of watching him also from the sidelines is also the saying, be careful what you wish for, because when they switched out Moyes, kind of because they wanted something more, you can see how it has gone. So one thing I do fear for with Brentford, because I really like the whole structure, the whole club, the way it's driven, the history, like the how everything is done. But I'm afraid that if they get rid of Thomas Frank and then Keith Richards and try to get in a bit of a more progressive manager, I think, for example, a Marco Silva would be a good fit for you guys, or something like that. Someone who is experienced, but maybe can take you to the next level. But I would be really, cautious to not go for a two.
I was just saying, does anyone else find this conversations like Brentford are on the cusp of like the biggest ever season, aren't they? And I find it that just decide where the manager's going to go. That he was he the set piece coach like last season?
Yeah, he was, Rich. Yeah.
I think coming into Brentford with Mbeumo leaving, Wissa leaving, that midfielder I forget leaving, Thomas Frank leaving, I think he's done a really good job. I know there's like some negativity, some inconsistency, but I think you're talking about a team that's going to be potentially finishing Europa League or Conference League or really close. And I think they've done really well. I know you're saying you're not convinced about the manager. I think he's done, like, under the circumstances in the team, I think it's like really good.
It's hard to not want more.
Perspective.
It's not hard to not want more. So I get you. Like when you get here, you want more, and then you get here, you want more. But sometimes it's also, we always look for the negative. We always look for the improvement. Like you can imagine when we won league after league after league, me and my boys were still like calling Ferguson clueless for putting on a different team sheet. And we would like, why is he starting him? And then we won 5-0. So we always, we are drawn like that. But I remember Keith Andrews was, because before every season I go look at odds just before the season, and he was number one. It's funny to think about now, but he was, before the season started, number one first to get sacked by every manager in the Premier League. He was number one in the betting. So I think he's been really good what he has been doing, because you sell your best players like Mbeumo, like Tony, and then you just get in new players like that birth just start pissing in goals.
What do you think they're meant to be? Like,
so impressive.
What should we expect from Brentford like now? Because we played early on in the season, different manager, different goalkeeper, a lot's changed with United. We're kind of like looking at this as if we get a win or get some points, we're kind of like almost over the line for Champions League football. Are you looking at this as like another like a difficult game, like a lot more difficult game than the first one, or do you think, like, what's your prediction how it's going to go?
Well, I think it is. I definitely feel you lot are sort of on the rise, and you're playing really good football, and it's the Carrick factor obviously as well. New manager bounce. Of course, he used to play for you. That helped as well. And of course, he was manager of Middlesbrough. Done well there. Did he go abroad a bit as well? I seem to remember. Did he go abroad to a team or something? Am I wrong there? Michael Carrick.
Just saw this and just ignore this, Mr. B.
Right. Yeah, that's good. Nice comments there. Thank you.
I was going to say that I can't say too much because Brentford have got a really good record against us. So I'm not going to say anything because I think Brentford have been.
Mr. B, I've got a question for you. So you talked about Andrews and you're not entirely convinced. What would you have done differently in the last 5 or so games? What do you think he's missing?
Well, as I say, he's slightly defensive, and I'm not sure he fully trusts some of his players, some of the other strikers and stuff. Because we have got a few other good attacking players there. when you look on the bench, you got obviously okay. I know Reece Nelson is not great, but he can come up with a goal at times. And I mean, he's been injured most of the time. But I mean, Ramel Donovan, I rate as well. Another good young player. We got to like from, I think it was the B team he came up from, but he was obviously at Birmingham as well. And I just want him to play some more games. I want him to play instead of Sharda, actually. Okay. I want us, because Sharda hasn't done a lot lately. And I kind of think, well, can't we change it up, you know?
Yeah.
And bring someone else in, you know?
Can I say from a United perspective there that I agree and disagree, because I would be fearful for Sharda this game, not because of his form, but the pacey in behind wingers who are out of form always score against us. If you get what I mean.
Well, yeah.
So I hope Nelson starts.
Well, the thing is, no, I actually want Donovan to start, Algie. Yeah, no, I think he should, because I don't think he's done a lot wrong when he's played for us. Ramel Donovan, he's come on, he's looked good, and the only thing it's missing is a goal from him. But I think this time, if he plays, I think he could be a threat. I really do. I like to see him play instead of Sharda, but I don't think Andrews will do it. I think he'll stick with the normal, and he'll probably retire and everything up front, Thiago and probably Sharda. Usual there, I think, and probably have Lewis Potter as left wing back as usual now. Although we've got Hickey back, so he might put him as left back, which he isn't. He's not a left back, Aaron Hickey, but he's put him there, like as I say, like another Arteta, a bit of a, you know.
What do you worry about Man United then? Like, what threat do you see from United that maybe we didn't see in the first match against you this season? Because I would say actually that first game was kind of even until like we had a penalty shout or something to like, was it a penalty miss? But we were getting, it was like quite close. And you went down the other end and scored. I think Bindier obviously didn't help, but you played well that day, took your chances. What do you think in this game? Like, what are you worried about with United? Because United, we're scoring a lot more goals. Right? Even games we draw, where there's a lot of 2-2s. We're actually, I think we carry a lot more goal threat than we were.
Well, I also think you toughened up on defence as well there, Rich, you know. You are a bit harder to get through. With Amorim, it was the same tactics, the same sort of thing, same strategy, and it was too easy to read. We knew what he was going to do before we played you, you know. We knew what it was going to be. So this time we know it's different and it's going to be tougher, and Carrick's got you set up better. And, I think it's going to be harder this time, but I think there's a lot more threat from you lot as well now, and I think there's really good players. Sesko, he's on form, playing really well, isn't he? Getting a few goals now.
Yeah. Would you take another draw? I know you've had a lot recently.
Another draw? Not really, Rich. No, I prefer to win this game, but it's going to be hard. I mean, I will take a point if we get it, but I'm not entirely happy with that. I really feel we need to go there and really do something against you lot, you know, really sort of like show something and make sure we get 3 points. Because, I mean, are we up there to get Europe or aren't we, you know? Or are we just going to finish like 9th or 11th or 12th or something, you know?
No, it's quite unusual this stage of the season where both teams have actually got a lot to play for. For you, it's like Europe. For us, it's like trying to make sure we don't mess up getting Champions League and try and finish third if we can. What are we thinking, like Helgi and Rizabella? Are you confident going into this one? Because Brentford are a bit of a bogey team, I would say. It's I'm positive we can score goals. The question is, Brentford do have this habit of scoring goals against us, so it could be like a reasonable scoring match, I think.
Thiago is on fire.
He's a monster.
I wouldn't play Sesko in this game. I would use Ahmed, Cunha, and Mbumo. Even though I don't entirely like him in that position, but I think we need that. I don't think this is Sesko's game, but I have a sneaky feeling it's going to end a draw. I don't think we win this match because I think it all sets up for the Liverpool match, and I think that's just the way it's going to go.
If we can beat Liverpool to get the thing I wanted to happen, this is something which, and like Tom's saying, like he's a massive threat. If we draw this game, but we get Champions League football by beating Liverpool, and Bruno Fernandes gets a couple of assists to set the record. And I would take that. So I would take a draw against Brentford if we can definitely. I'd take a defeat against Brentford if we can then batter Liverpool and have Bruno Fernandes getting a couple of goals and a couple of assists. But I think that feels like the key game, isn't it? But as long as if we did get a win against Brentford, it would mean you can go into that Liverpool game with less pressure and you can actually go for it, which could be like quite fun. Because Liverpool still, they're probably almost guaranteed Champions League football as well, aren't they? But to finish above them and beat them twice in one season would be quite nice.
I've got a quickie for Mr. B.
Yeah,
in,
go on,
in 1998, I used to work for BA for a while, and we used to always get thrown tickets from Brentford. I went to Griffin Park, had a great time. So my niece went with me. It was so lovely. Yeah. I know you guys have moved. What's the atmosphere like in the new stadium compared to Griffin Park?
Oh well, it's always you never forget your first original ground, and it's tight ground, isn't it? Griffin Park, and pub in every corner.
Yeah,
it was so. The nostalgia is always there, and I still love Griffin Park. But I think the G-Tech is a really nice stadium. It's a great stadium, a lot of atmosphere. But I just still love Griffin Park. But I still think G-Tech is good. But Griffin Park for me. And unfortunately, they knocked it all down, I think, apparently as well.
And where is the G-Tech in Brentford? Where is that located?
Well, it's sort of near Hounslow.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's just on sort of like the outskirts of Hounslow.
What going past the hospital, West Mid? Is it around there?
Hospital? No, it's it's nowhere near there, but it's kind of on the outskirts. It's near us, like where they always say, "Oh, we're just a bus stop in Hounslow." Of course, always get all that. Usual stuff. But no, it's not too far from the sort of like the town. If you go to the town of Hounslow, you get on a bus from there, and you get there. Basically, it's quite easy to get to from there. So it's really good, mate. It's a really nice stadium.
Griffin Park was really easy, isn't it? You just came off the station and just walked up. It's
it was
lovely. Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, what's your predicted score before you go?
Before we get Berber in, what's your prediction, Mr. B? And we'll be doing a big live stream tomorrow. So hopefully, whatever the results, hopefully you can call by the chat if it's bad, just to give us your reaction.
Sure, I'll always show my face, man. If we win or lose, I'll always show my face. I don't care,
Yeah, I do. Sometimes I regret agreeing to do it, but I will always do that. And I'll call it a therapy session rather than a match reaction.
No, but as I was saying on my streams before, Rich, I don't know if you did see it. I done the preview for this game, and I actually said on there, I said 2-1 Bees, and that's sort of hope, maybe praying
you don't want to predict a loss for your own team, so I get that.
Well, no,
you've got to back your team. I mean, it's not like you don't beat us quite regularly anyway, so there is room to be confident.
No, I think it is going to be a close one, but I'm just going to go. Yeah, I'm just going to go 2-1 to the Bees. But if not, I think 2-1 in reverse if you win. So that's what.
Yeah, it could be close. I think there's goals for both teams in this game for sure. Yeah. If we got a clean sheet, like another one like we did against, say, with Chelsea recently, that would maybe be another step in the right direction. If we can maintain the goal scoring and start shutting people out the other end, that'd be great. But Mr. B, thank you for joining tonight. Pleasure to get you on, and we're going to get Berber on.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
But thank you, Mr. B. Also, people, Mr. B Hive of Football Chat as well as the YouTube channel to look out for Brentford news as well. And make sure you subscribe to that one as well. We can't redirect from the moment, but
I'll put my link in and stuff. Is that all right? In the
go chat. For it. Go for it.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
On the Bees.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, I liked it when you beat Liverpool. I'll say that was a bit of a highlight. So big up to you.
Weedy B, do you think I should change my name to Mr. Devil?
Mr. Devil? Why?
Mr. B.
Oh, right, okay. Like Red Devil.
But it doesn't catch as well because like Mr. B works like the Brentford the Bees, but it's like when it's United, and it's like Mr. Trident, Mr. Devil. Also, I just wanted to say,
Mr. B is a good name. It's almost like a.
It is, and the logo, everything. I bought it. I bought into it. It was a good. He's got a good thing going there, and it was nice. From Tom said that he didn't want to go deep, but it's stuff like this that is great for mental health. And I just wanted to take up that comment that it is good to have like a good, safe community where we won't get like ugly with each other, angry at each other. We will encourage each other. And you were a brilliant guest, and I know like there are probably people in the chat going through stuff, also have gone through stuff like we all did. So it's I just wanted to bring it up. It's nice for you to say that, and you're always welcome here, and nobody's going to be foul against you or anything like
just waiting for Berber's device to connect. Is like backstage, but it just like he left and came back in, so I'm just waiting for it to connect.
He's with some groupies backstage. It's typical Berber.
You're ready. I can't add it at the moment. It says device not connected. If you are ready.
It says I'm ready.
Okay, now it's connected. Welcome to the chat, Mr. Berber. How are you doing?
Hi, guys. Can you hear me all right?
I've been trying for like how many years to get you on, but welcome.
The man, the myth, the legend.
It's a pleasure, honestly, with you legends. Jeez.
Yeah.
Helga, a man of my own taste, he loves the same players.
Exactly.
We deserve better. What a legend. Mystic, we deserve better.
And Richie Martin, the most Richie Martin, the most Spanish UK guy ever. Like,
oh man, I don't even know what to talk about, to be honest. I just wanted to.
No. It's not too many legends on the screen. I swear.
I was struggling working out what to do.
It's
with
a
this,
legend. It's like a legendceptional. But one thing I can ask you is, why did you love Berbatov so much?
Because he was so lazy, like me, mate.
Yes.
I used to play Sunday League, and I was fast as hell, but I didn't like running. I hated it. And I found this player at Tottenham who just not even sulk, just languid, and it's so smooth and elegant. I found it. I want to be like that, man.
It legit looked like when I watched him, because my brother was like playing a lot of like I think it was Championship Manager at the time, or maybe it just transitioned into a non-binary Football Manager. No, but and he said there is this insane striker in Germany. So I didn't get to watch him in Germany. But when he then signed for Spurs, I was already like, I need to watch out for this guy. He's supposed to be amazing. And I agree with you. When I then watched him, I was like, who is this guy just walking around? If he had pockets, his hand would be in his pocket.
God, yeah.
And then he just walked around, and I was like, is this the guy that my brother's been hyping up? And then he got the ball, and it's just, he looked like prime Zidane and like someone. I was like, whoa, he is lazy and good, that guy.
I went you all the way, mate. Exactly the same. He just made it look easy, didn't he? If someone can make football at that level look easy, I mean,
he's just conserving his energy, wasn't he?
That's it.
Yeah,
exactly. You don't need to run around the pitch. Like it's like Rio Ferdinand didn't need to run around the pitch. Jamie Carragher did, because he was so out of position.
Exactly.
But when I do it at work, I get a bollocking.
Yeah, Ryan, I've got to ask you a question, because you probably say this on your channel as well, but if you can pick 3 midfield players, and you've got
I was going to ask him that.
options, and you've got like also the Carrick situation. So this is a safe place. You can want Carrick on if you want.
Bellingham, Haaland as CDM.
Sometimes I was going to joke and like take one for the person that like some cowboy builders have ruined his house, and he's disappointed that someone's fixed it too quickly. But I was going to say, okay, no one's expecting everything to be done in one like window, etc. But beyond like the midfield, like if you could pick a few midfield players, what else would you look at trying to do as well? So just to kind of see what your views are.
Definitely left back, 100% a left back. I'd love a backup striker as well. It doesn't get mentioned as much.
Yes, my brother.
Do you like that?
Diogo Dalot, I kind of like him, but want rid of him at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
That
That's
makes
what
sense.
I said to Kervin. It's both of them.
It is. His attitude seems spot on.
He's so likable, and he's
Yeah.
so not what we need, kind of.
Yeah, his best attribute is availability, and he's always there. He's never injured, is he? I mean,
Yeah.
But it's his positioning. I mean, he'd get lost crossing the road, wouldn't he?
Who'd you start though? Who'd you buy to play alongside Mainu is like the question, because we're kind of quite positive about Mainu. I am personally as well. And I think that United are looking to build around him. So maybe it's like one person to play alongside him, a couple of other people. Who do you reckon?
I think the first one in definitely will be BALEBA, whether we want him or not. It's very Marmite, isn't he? He splits everyone.
Does it feel inevitable? Because when I was like looking at all the news, and I do a stream, and I'm thinking, I did one this morning, and people in the comments going, "We shouldn't pay 70," and I was going, the thing is, I think Man United, you know how we have this thing about we want a player, and it's not a surprise. We don't get the player. And then it's like on and on and on and on. And every single story is for Britster every month says, Man United are still interested. We go, we know.
Yeah.
And it feels like there's inevitability. I know, I said this morning that whether someone actually messages it might be in Weird is the Better, said, whether you want BALEBA or not, he's going to come. So just accept it and then decide who else we should buy alongside him.
I totally agree.
I like something We Deserve Better said way back at the start of the stream. You don't have to pay silly money for players now. Get a couple of 50 million pound players in. Get a BALEBA, get a Stiller. Then go into the World Cup. And we're so slow around World Cups, aren't we? I mean, we mess around every time. And Euros. I mean, get a couple of decent players in. But
yes.
Sort of regarded as cheap, aren't they?
Would you like my favorite trio? What do you like about not favorite, because we know. I think people in the chat also that don't want BALEBA, just wrap your head around it. He's as close as a United player. Like I like it. I like him. He can fail. He can be great. Like all players. Like whoever we buy. Like Tchouaméni could be shit as well. Like we don't know.
I think he might surprise people. Like, I think he might surprise people. Like people have
and also one thing. I'm not going to convince people because I'm not sure about BALEBA either. I'm hyped about him coming because I like this raw player that we can turn into something like. But one thing we do like, we all have to like about BALEBA, that guy played shit for Brighton because he so much wanted to play for us. So keep that in mind. At least this is the player who is like, he's so set at us. For United, that he actually played shit because he couldn't stop thinking about how much he wanted to play for us. So I will see that as a plus, that this is a guy who is coming to United who will be like, this is his dream. So that's the thing. My favorite trio would be, because I think we will get BALEBA. My favorite is what Berber says is BALEBA, Stiller, and Tonali. What do you think about that, Berber?
I really like him. Honestly, I don't think there's any midfielder that we have been linked with the last few weeks that I'd be disappointed with. It is really ranking them, isn't it? First, second, third choice, but there's nothing bad about any of them. It's just you're a bit on the spot, aren't you, when you have to make your top three? I mean, the only reason I'll be
top 8.
Exactly.
Top 10.
Exactly, mate.
Yeah.
The only way I'll be disappointed is if United do what they like to do, and it's look for cheap options, and they're going to look at Spurs and say, "Oh, they're going down. Let's have James Maddison," and then I'm going to drop a toast in the bath.
I think he's broken, isn't he? No.
Yeah. It scares me. It really does.
The opposite question is there any 3 players linked, like seriously linked, where you think that would be a disaster or that would be disappointing?
Good question.
I think it's difficult to do that. I think that's a tricky one.
Actually,
so when people say that they don't want BALEBA, I don't want BALEBA, or I don't really rate Wharton. And I was thinking, if Man United signed BALEBA, Wharton, and I don't know, just pick like a Gomez, you'd be thinking, oh, hang on a minute, like this is don't forget, it's instead of like Agate as one of them, a Collier. I think it's tricky.
I think they've all got the plus sides, but they've also got cons, haven't they? Like every player you pick. I mean, Anderson, it looks like he's got one foot at the Etihad, doesn't it? He's going. BALEBA, I do like him. I just think what we're going to do alongside him, are we going to get somebody else, or are we going to go the cheap United route of old of just neglecting it? We've got one position, we've got one player for midfield, and that'll do you.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it sounded to me like you're not convinced on BALEBA. So when we're asking your three, who would your three be?
I do really like Wharton. I know he's very a bit of hit and miss with everyone else. He has got a bit of an injury track record, but I think he's the closest thing out there to Michael Carrick. I really do. He's a bit of a metronome, a conductor.
He's crazy good to look at.
He's so good on the ball.
Yeah,
it's like I said, they're all good. It's like, how do you pick 2 or 3 out of all? Like you said, you could have a list of 8 of these midfield. I'd love them all. Any of them.
Tonali is mental in terms of.
Man United really wanted BALEBA plus Wharton as like a dream midfield about 12 months ago, and you can see what you think that would be.
Yeah, I'm just worried that we get one midfielder, and it's like, well, we've got one. That'll do. We'll carry on with what we've got, sort of thing. It's
do you see that? I get this comment quite a lot. A lot of people compare Wharton to Stiller. I always find it difficult to compare players in different leagues because I think it's a bit like Florian Wirtz, that he was excellent one season. It's taken him a long time. There's no doubt there's a quality player there, but whether it means he'll be as good in the Premier League as in Germany, I don't know.
I think he will. Sadly, I think he will. I think he will next season. I just think he came into a side which has it's so random, and they never played him as a 10. Like never since he came in. He's always played on the right, on the left, or as an 8. He basically hasn't played a 10. And when Liverpool shifted and then started playing with a 10, they just played Szoboszlai there and then pushed Wirtz to the left. So I would be very I would hold off the Wirtz stingers, I think. And Berba, I think I don't know his position on it, but I actually feel like I can already hear him agreeing with me. But yeah, do you agree? Like I think he is going to be really good. Actually, I hate it, but
well, that'd be typical, wouldn't it, for us to miss out? This is going to be an absolute well beater. The thing with Stiller, I think Madrid are going to move heaven and earth to get that guy. I really do.
Yes.
Tony Kroos is not long been retired. Basically, they're giving him a role behind the scenes just to help bring this deal along, from what I've heard anyway. So, I mean, how much more praise does a player need for us to need him, if that's what Real Madrid want?
Yeah. You said your phone's going to die backstage.
Yeah,
what do you want to say? A quick comment on keep Carrick or?
Oh, I love Carrick. I really love Carrick. Some of the comments earlier, I do agree with. I try to see both sides when people want and don't want a manager. Yeah. We haven't been great for a few weeks now. We have had some big scalps under Carrick. I just, like I said earlier, I just keep looking back. We were 15th last year. Now we're 3rd. I mean, let's just go with that. Carrick's done that. Let's give him a go. Why not?
Maybe short contract. I think there's definitely some middle ground with like a short contract, revamp the coaches if you want to. But I don't know. The thing is that I get the feeling we might run out of alternative options, and it's the tricky one to call.
Yeah, I think that's what's in his favour, isn't it? Is that there aren't that many options available, and I think ideally, what we want about five candidates, and then you look at those candidates, and then you're able to weigh up the pluses. I'm like you, Berber. I go back and forth on this all the time. I haven't got the answer, and none of us know if Carrick could come in next season and be the next Messiah. It's kind of like, how many times have we looked over there at our club and said, "Look at that young manager! Look how brilliant! We need to get him." And it's kind of like we could actually have one under a very own doorstep. So we don't know. It's a truth.
We don't know.
We just don't know.
I'll ask you, crystal ball.
Isn't it? It's impossible to say.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. But Ryan, thanks for coming on. I've probably badgered you for about, 2 years to come on.
It's a pleasure, honestly. I'd stay longer, but you've been on. I know you've been on a long time.
No, I need to bring it to a close. Hopefully, we'll do something next week, but be a bit smoother. I was going to say maybe you should message Cake and let him know that we don't. It's a safe place.
Only when you're hungry.
Come on and say whatever they want.
You guys are absolute gentlemen. Honestly, it's a pleasure to come on and say hi to you.
As are you, Berber. You really are.
It was so nice. Nice to finally talk to you, my twin.
You too, Helga. All right, guys. Take care. I'll be off. Take care.
Bye.
Cheers, Ryan.
Bye.
Come again.
What a legend, eh?
It's been like unbelievable quality guests tonight.
Yeah, I think
Big up
he
to
works.
Luca.
Big up.
Luca, how you doing? How are you doing?
Yeah, well, I'm not too bad, man. It's a long time. How you been? You been good?
It is a long time. You told me that you were going to come on at 9. So
I know, but I changed my mind and then I'm gonna come back on. So I'm here
this
now.
is beyond Fergie time. This is I don't know. This is like that penalty we got against Brighton when we thought the game was over. So how are you
Yeah.
doing? How you
I'm
doing
all
tonight,
right.
Luca?
Not too bad. It's good to see everyone. Long time. I hope everyone's keeping well. Yeah, I'm good.
Look,
Not
I got
bad.
a few questions for you because as people know, you're an Arsenal fan. So you've
Oh,
obviously
he's an
got
Arsenal fan?
you can be a bit neutral about this because you can look from the outside. What do you think Man United transfer-wise should be doing? And I know you've been quite vocal about your manager, but this is not Arsenal chat tonight. So do you think Michael Carrick's done enough to keep the job? And what players do you think United should be looking at trying to get in?
Look, for me, I think Manchester United, for me, it's just all about, like, I've been watching since you've got your channel back now, and obviously this is your new channel now, look, and big shout out to you. Look, Nagelsmann, for me, I don't think he's not the answer to Man United. I really don't. But getting on to Michael Carrick, look, he's done a fantastic job. You've lost a couple of games this season, but it's a bit of a risk to obviously push him on for next season. You're going to get Champions League football. It's very surprising, despite you lost in the Europa League final, finishing near the relegation zone. Right, you're not quite worse than what Tottenham are this season, and obviously two teams were battling in a not a very good, exciting Europa League final. But however, obviously Tottenham obviously got the win and won the Europa League, but. Manchester United have obviously massively improved as a football club, and obviously you obviously got rid of Ruben Amorim, which obviously was one of the worst choices you appointed. But Michael Carrick, for me, has done a really good job for Man United. But this is what you lot do, yeah. As an Arsenal fan, yeah.
I just want to jump in, right? Why are we asking him about Man United? I want to ask him about Arsenal. We've got to ask you about Arsenal.
If I go on about Arsenal, Rich is probably going to go on about, are you Arteta in? Are you Arteta in? And then everyone's going to say,
I'll just say, like, for tonight, Luca, I know your views on Arsenal, and I was going to say that. Do you think Michael Carrick should get the job? Like, because I spoke to some Spurs fans. Probably, okay, they're not the best people to talk to. They said they'd take Michael Carrick. This was about 2 months ago, but they'd take anyone at the moment.
Look, I don't think Michael Carrick shouldn't get the job anyway. I think Man United need to go for someone long-term experience, because if you guys want to challenge, obviously, like, if you want to compete with Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City, then for me, Man United, right, you need to get an experienced manager. And I think you need to look for someone out there that can do a job. And look, you be linked with Nagelsmann as well. I don't think he's not the answer to Man United. I don't think he doesn't fit your style of play. Is he going to be one of those managers like Conte, where, okay, I want a tons of money. Am I going to get backed by the Glazers? Am I going to get backed by Jim Radcliffe and all that stuff? For me, right, I don't think he's not the answer. And look, if Michael Carrick does, if Michael Carrick does get backed, he's got to bring his own players in. And I'm looking at Man United, of course, being linked to some of the midfielders.
Just quickly ask you, Luca, because I know you were linked to Tonali, because I think Tonali was trying to force it out at Newcastle. Was that in January, or was it at the end of the summer? But
January.
What do you think in terms of Man United's targets? Like, do you look at our targets and say, like, do Arsenal need a midfielder? Like, I
think we do need a midfielder. Look for me, we need a midfielder alongside Declan Rice, because Zubimendi, for me, has been very poor recently. He's been very poor recently, and look, I like Zubimendi.
Go back to Man United. Who do you think Man United should sign to play alongside Manu instead of Manu?
Man United for me need a massive clear out in the summer, but of course, but you're not going to get rid of all of them, because obviously they're all on high wages, so some of them have to go out on loans.
No, they've come down.
Hang on, our midfield's gone. Luca, our midfield's gone.
You still got Rashford on loan, so you're going to send him on the cheap.
Luca, like midfield players coming in. Man United only have Manu left.
All right, Man United coming in then. Okay, positions. I think if Man United are looking at 2-3 midfilders, right?
Yeah,
I think Man United. I think Man United, for me, I think you should go look at, maybe there's loads of options. You can only pick 3, right? I would go for Tchouaméni. Right, I'd go for someone like that. I really, if your number one midfielder is going to go to Manchester City, is Elliot Anderson. How have Man United, how has that deal gone so quiet and allowing Manchester City to go and get Elliot Anderson? With Manchester United obviously going to get Champions League football next season, right, under Michael Carrick, yeah? If I was Michael Carrick, I'd be like, no, mate, I want Elliot Anderson at Manchester United. You're playing Champions League football, yeah? United are slowly starting to become that club again, right? Obviously, probably nowhere near Arsenal's level, but however, obviously, you're now slowly trying to. Good to be not back in the Champions League, but it's about how you're going to be ready to compete in the Champions League. And Man United have got to get used to this.
Not Arsenal's level. When was the last time you won a cup?
Yeah, but we're challenging for the league title.
Are you winning it? Are you winning it?
You're becoming like not
There's
getting
no
right.
trophy for second place.
Luca, I've had this kind of one of my best mates is ironically he's an Arsenal fan.
Yeah,
and he is the perfect Arsenal fan of how I look. He is how Arteta and Arsenal is. So we were going out clubbing. He isn't the best looking guy. I know Arteta is, but now just stay with me. Just stay with me, okay? My mate isn't the most best looking guy. And sometimes I'd be like watching a girl and I'm like nudging him and like saying, I say, I'll have a bet at that. And he's like, oh, you're going to have a challenge for me. And then we would kind of both flirt with him. And he's in the challenge, but is he really challenging me? And that's sorry, but that's what I feel about Arsenal. Like you are challenging, but this, I know I have to give you respect in terms of now you're equal points and there's only a few games. So you are challenging, but like from the start of the season to the middle of the season to my best friend, I've always, even when City was like 15 points behind 12, I was saying, Arsenal will fall apart in April or March, and City will somehow go on a winning streak, and they will win the league. Sorry, I'm not. And all my friends that are like, I have some friends that are like anti-Arsenal, and even them were saying like, Helgi, you must now know Arsenal will win. Like City's been shit. Liverpool. I'm like, no, Arsenal will find a way. Like losers will always be losers. Like you need Ancelotti. No, but I'm not being. Like, I like Arsenal as a club, by the way.
You're being as fair as Luca was like 5 minutes ago.
No, I don't rate. Rich knows I don't rate Mikel Arteta yet. Rich knows what I'm like when it comes to Arteta.
Because I like Arsenal. I've always liked Arsenal as a club. I'm just saying it's so predictable. You hire a loser, you won't win. Like, he is the one who he's too afraid not to win. Like, who is the biggest winners? The biggest winners in the world is like Ancelotti, is like Ferguson, Klopp. They are risk takers, every one of them. So yeah, I just feel like to win you have to risk, and to be 6 years deep in a project and spend 2 billion or whatever, and you don't play with fullbacks, you play with centre backs at fullbacks, no overlap. Your best attackers, you're 6 years. Imagine being 6 years deep in a project and playing with Martinelli, Madueke, Trossard, Ødegaard. Are you having a laugh? Are you having a laugh? If you give me 6 years and we have Martinelli, Madueke, Havertz, Ødegaard, and Trossard in attack after 6 years and 2 billion spend, I'm letting you slap me like dung 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 dung. That's stupid. It's so stupid.
Yeah, look for me. Thank you, man. But look for me. Look. As an Arsenal fan, obviously Rich knows this, and I'm sure some of his moderators know about me or see me around in the. Look, I'm not Mikel. I know this is about Manchester United, but one thing I will say is I'm not Mikel Arteta's biggest fan. And if anyone's new to YouTube or if anyone's never seen me, my thoughts on Mikel Arteta. I don't think he's not a good coach. You know what I'm saying? I've never rated this guy. Obviously, when the pressure gets to him,
Yes.
Right, our fan base get too gassy. They all think that we're going to win the league, and even I'm listening to people on AFTV yesterday saying, "Oh, all we got to do is win 4 games, and then the goal difference and that." You do know it does come down to goal difference, yeah, and goals scored. Are people forgetting that it's goals scored? Yeah, Manchester City have scored 66 goals, and we've scored 64 goals. Goal
Luca,
difference.
you're
they've
not
been
you're
shit,
lost
and
the
they-
league yet.
and
to
they've been
say.
shit,
You haven't
and they've
lost
been
it yet.
shit,
I have
and
one.
they've
I
been
have
shit
one.
for half
I
the
have
season.
one.
We need to go off Arsenal and bring another last caller in. So if you've got
Just
to
Okay. Let's talk about Man U then.
I just ask you one question, Luca. I have to ask this, right? It's just an observation. You were Luca talks Arsenal, was it? And then you left them because they bought the league, and you became Luca Talks MK Dons. Then about 3 or 4 weeks ago, when you were 9 points ahead, it was suddenly Luca Talks Arsenal. Now that Man City on top, it's gone to Luca Talks Ball. What's going on?
Flip flop big time, isn't it?
You're flip flop like Arteta. Oh,
I know. Now I have all crazy names, to be honest. But obviously, you just, even if you type that name, my name is still on there anyway. So regardless to that, no, it's Luca Talks Arsenal. But no, look, for me, look, I just hope Arsenal do go on to win the league before we do come back to Man United talk. I just want this manager to prove to me. I really want him to prove to me. I've been slagging this manager for like how many years now, Rich? So many times
You
now,
probably
Rich.
started. If I'm honest, you started too early with that direction, but maybe there's some justification if he messes up this season. I think you were Arteta out from like pretty early on, actually. When it was like
Well, yeah,
4
of
5 years
course, of
ago,
course. Well,
which I
of
thought was
course,
a bit
mate.
early.
I was literally ranting and everything about Arteta, literally non-stop. Rich has seen my rants and all that stuff, and I get very very angry with my rants, to be honest. But it's just disappointed the way it's actually happened and all that, and that's the thing. So
If you messed up the league, is it going to be
yeah,
that Cunha winner that spoiled it? Do you think, or is it going to be when you've
possibly.
bottled it to Wolves? I think I like to think it's Cunha's winner, and I think like that Man City should have a picture of him surfing because for me that's
Yeah,
a highlight of the season.
Yeah, because I just hope we get it over the line. But
Sorry,
the
Luca. I
only
mean,
way,
we're not in a title race, but I was just putting.
no, but the only way we
Fine.
can win the only way we can win the league is we've got to win our 4 games. Either hope Man City drop points or we've got to score goals. And the way is that we're just not playing good football. We're not
True.
beating teams as like 3 or 4-0. It's just Arsenal. We're just
Do you
boring
think
to
Man United can
watch.
finish above Arsenal next season? That's my final question. Like, do you think United can finish above Liverpool this season? Do you think we can be a better team than you next season?
I don't know.
Because
Maybe depends.
It's a long season.
I don't know. I don't know. It just depends who, because Arsenal might go out and spend big again. We'd have to sell players. Like we've got a lot of players we need to get rid of. We're really lacking on that left-hand side wing.
No,
right?
no.
Martinelli
You should keep Martinelli, give him the captaincy.
Give another 5 years and get a new set piece coach.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to get the last caller in because it's really long. I was trying to limit it
I'll
to 3 hours.
I'll bounce if you want, and I'll let Jordan come in. Yeah,
nice to meet you,
Luca.
Nice to
You
meet
did
you,
say
Luca.
9 o'clock, so you could have spoken a bit longer.
Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel. I think I'll come back to YouTube in the summer, mate. So subscribe to the channel. We're on
That's the most confusing. I would say, Luca, of all the things you've ever done, abandoning your Arsenal channel when Arsenal are closest they've ever been to winning the league for over 20 years is surprising. That's surprised me more than a lot of things.
I think I definitely flip flop big time in it all the time. Keep changing my mind.
That's kind of the life of being a football fan as well.
It is. Look, I miss this platform, innit? You know what I'm saying? I uploaded a video yesterday. For once.
Did you? Okay.
Take it easy, Luca.
Yeah.
And
take it easy. Nice to meet everyone. Have a great Sunday night. Yeah.
Take care, Luca.
Likewise.
Bye.
Cheers, Luca. So get last caller in. We'll try and keep it to Man United because he's a Liverpool fan. So we'll keep it Man United related.
Oh my gosh.
Tom said we can't be better than Arsenal next season, and I agree, Tom, but I also disagree, Tom. Have faith, my guy. They I think like mentally something, if they don't win, and I think they will kind of click. So they have been pushing and then losing against City, and then he says, "Go again, here's the light bulb, bring your dinner, bring your lunch bag." And he's done one more season. And I think mentally the Arsenal players will be like, Saliba will go to Real Madrid. I think mentally the
Man
squad
City remind me of Man United years ago, though. That's it. Man
Yes.
United used to
Relentless.
relentlessly grind teams down. We put pressure on Newcastle, we put pressure on Arsenal, and those teams kind of felt the pressure. And it feels like Man City do the same sort of thing. Like Arsenal have a big lead, and then Man City go, right, we're going to buy Semenyo and we're going to buy Cunha, Gahey, and Arsenal are like, oh no, they just start dropping, etc.
Let us know, Tom. Okay.
So Jordan, welcome. How are you doing tonight? We're just doing a quick Man United call-in show. So
I know, man. So yeah, I'm not gonna be here for long, man. But yeah,
my condolences for picking the wrong team.
Well, our family that support Man United. We have our dramas when we come down to rivalries. Like next week, we want to play each other. So yeah. But yeah, man. Big up to you, Rich. How are you, man? It's been a while, bro.
And now we're going to ask you about Man United, but can I just quickly ask you, because it's really interesting to know a Liverpool perspective, what are your views on slots?
Look, for me especially, I know that you guys are talking about Man United. I don't want to ruin your weekend, but for me, I have to say that I'm surprised that Slot is staying, but the only thing that is really hurts me a lot is seeing Salah and Robert leaving the club. That breaks me more because of those two players that play for us and the badge for the club. It mostly hurts me more and all of us that supports Liverpool Football Club. Arne Slot staying. We're getting a player in the summer as well. We know the World Cup is I think 48 days now and counting. So and we need more players. We need more defender. We need a proper right back, a proper left back, a midfielder, and an attacker indeed. So for us to really see here we're getting Jeremy Jacket, but that's not enough. That's not what we want. We don't want that alone. We want more players indeed. So we have some injuries going on at this moment. Ali is coming back to his normal self. Mohammadashvili is out. We have Freddie Woodman in play well in Derby. He make 5 saves yesterday for us in the game against as well. So for me, we want to see more to really build up for pre-season and the new season to begin, no doubt. And the 17-year-old, everyone is talking about him now. It's going all over as well. Rio, the 17 years old kid, indeed, he's learning, but we're going to give him some time to really adjust. But I'm happy for him and absolutely. We want to really build a team more and sending off Salah. And we know that May is this week. So his final season is coming to an end. So we're gonna miss Rabo and Mohamed Salah. So those are the 2 players we're going to be missed for the upcoming new season.
Big personalities.
it's hard to replace those sort of players, though. Because I know when people say about getting the next, like this is like a journalist thing, isn't it? Saying, can you get the next Mo Salah or get the next whatever player? You don't get that. You don't get another Mo Salah. You don't get another Van Nistelrooy or Ronaldo. You get different players. Like if we could get the next Wayne Rooney, we'd get him in straight away. But he doesn't exist. There isn't the same. There isn't those sort of players. A couple of questions. So this is the time to get some last questions as well. Tom, who great calling earlier as well. Tom says, question is score prediction for tomorrow. So you're a bit of a neutral on this one, Jordan. What do you think Man United versus Brentford? I think Cunha's missing as far as I know. We'll have Harry Maguire will be back from suspension. So difficult though. Brentford are a bit of a bogey team for us. How do you see that one going? Actually, beat you guys as well, didn't they? They're a difficult team.
Yeah, Brentford for me as a neutral. There is someone that I know very well. Very, very fantastic. He's so good.
Yes.
Without Collier, indeed. We missed him, but this is looking fantastic for me because I see few of you guys game, the one even against Chelsea. I watched the highlights of it. I didn't watch the game live. But what assist to Matheus Cunha in that game, he's a fantastic player, Bruno Fernandes. But yeah, it's gonna be a good game tomorrow at Old Trafford. Michael Carrick, we know you guys will be playing us on the weekend. So after you guys play Brentford tomorrow, you have us on Sunday. So it's gonna be interesting.
Just on that, Jordan, because we probably won't get a chance to speak to you before then, because we generally have the call in on a Sunday, and it'll probably be changed next week. What I know we talked about the Brentford game. What's your view on the Liverpool and the Man United game?
Liverpool Man United game for me. We're gonna just have to. This is Salah's last game against the guys. We know you guys gonna play tomorrow. So this is where he always love to score against the guys, and I'm hearing that probably he's injured, but I'm not sure if it's true, if it's really injured for real, because for him to really play his last game in the color red of Liverpool, he's getting into ages already. But for me, a trip down to Old Trafford, that is Salah's favorite picture against the guys. That is gonna be a good game on Sunday. So it's gonna be a cracking game for us to really get Champions League qualification, despite we're not in the race for the title to really retain the title and out. But for me, it looks like we're getting Champions League once again. So for me, if we just do this for Salah, we will absolutely miss him for Champions League games. But I'm looking forward to send him off with one last goal at Old Trafford against the guys. But we know it's gonna be something different. Michael Carrick is.
So I'm suspecting you're predicting a win. What's your scoreline going to be for that match?
For me, I'm going for a comfortable 2-0 win against the guys. But I'm not sure if that's going to work because at this rate, when you guys play against us at our yard, beating us, I was surprised that, boss, we normally love to slap up your guys at 7-0. Everybody love to see us drop about a lot of that as well. We're not doing it anymore. We lost key players that used to do that for us in Diaz firing high now in the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich won his first.
We gave you that 7-0 just because you were having such a lousy season that year. We just kind of gave that.
Yeah, but we are new, man. But we are different. We are trying to really regroup and out. So yeah, the only thing we are just focusing on is getting Champions League football once more, and we just leave the title race between Pep and Arteta. Yeah, master against student, as they call it, PE teacher against his protege, Mikel Arteta. So for me, I want Champions League, but yeah, this is what I have to say, man. Thanks to Salah for everything. Thanks to Rabo for everything that those two. I'm gonna miss them. Everybody will miss them. The Premier League will absolutely miss a great player. Those players are just amazing for us, no doubt. And
what do you think is the biggest threat to? Obviously, you want Liverpool to win. What's the biggest threat apart from Bruno Fernandes breaking the assist record this season? What else do you look for in our team?
The biggest threat is for me is look, man, Brian Mbeumo. What a player he is! He used to score against us for Brentford, and then he score against us. He score against us again for you guys. So he's the biggest threat for me at this rate because he's very fantastic. He's a great player, great signing as well for you guys, no doubt. So we have to just keep a close eye, watch out for him as well, and even Bruno Fernandes in midfield. The guys are really upgrading a lot after losing Andre Onana, indeed, and now getting defenders in. The guys are really doing well. They said Harry Maguire. Well, he's a very fantastic defender. He can defend very well. Former Leicester.
He got the winner actually. He was the winner at Anfield as well.
Yeah, man. So yeah. So we are studying and we're we went back to the drawing board, so anything can happen on Sunday. Either we win or you guys win, anything can happen. So
I've got a question. Would you replace Virgil van Dijk this summer?
Virgil, at this rate, we were looking to get Matthew. He's at Man City indeed. So Mark Gable for me, yeah, replacing Van Dijk. The era is coming to an end, so it looks to me like we need to bring a proper centre back, no doubt. So we need someone that can come in to really take over, and looks to me like we're seeing a leadership in Dominic Szoboszlai. But for me, Van Dijk has been doing everything for us, no doubt. After he get that injury during the COVID, he's trying to get back himself, and we see him like he's getting himself back on track, no doubt. But yeah,
Van Dijk. Final question, Jordan, because I need to wrap up because it's been a very long stream. This is kind of my final question because I know you're a Liverpool fan, so I'll phrase it differently. If there's like one or two players out there that Man United could sign that you would look at as a Liverpool fan and think, damn, why have they signed that player? Because they're too good. But what players would it be? Probably midfield players as a priority because that's what we're looking at. So 2 players you think that are players you'd hate to see us sign because they're too good.
For me, at this rate, I probably look at one of the league, no doubt. He's a very fantastic player. I'm looking at I'm not sure if Bayern will sell him to you guys. I'm talking Jamal. So I'm not sure if he will be sold. Bayern will be keeping him. So I think looking at Jamal Musiala, that could be a great signing for you guys.
He's top quality. I think we're thinking of like more defensive-minded ones, but who else would you think in terms of like there's like BALEBA, Tchouaméni, Wharton, Anderson? I think Anderson's off the table, but is there any other players you think that you hope we don't get?
Yeah, Tchouaméni has won trophies with Real Madrid and the Champions League. Despite they got kicked out, they're looking to win number 16 and they never got it. So Tchouaméni is a very fantastic player for them in midfield. He has the creativity with him, Bellingham, Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, Federico Valverde, Militao. He's a very fantastic player as well, playing along with Camavinga. So Tchouaméni is a great call. That could be an awesome signing to come to the Premier League. So he will absolutely do well in the Premier if Real Madrid will sell him.
It'd be quite exciting signing. But thank you, Jordan. Thanks, Thanks, Helgi. We're going to have to wrap it up because it's been an epic stream. We'll try and maybe do it slightly quicker. But I think this has been a really good stream. There's been lots of good call-ins, lots of opinions. But I think we'll try and do it slightly quicker next week. But actually, it depends on Man United play Liverpool. So I'll have to have a think. It might be possibly on Monday or something instead. But I'll have a think about that.
I was planning to do my preview this Thursday coming. Because I have the free time.
I can message you on Instagram, John. But I just want to say a big quick thank you to Jordan. Thank you to Luca. Thank you to Ryan in the chat as well. Tom. So good. Also, thanks for sticking around and getting comments and questions in as well, supporting the other guys on the stream. So big thanks to you guys. Also, Mr. B as well, who's in here. And I'm trying to think. Also, Kawin, who I think was very good as well. So if I've forgotten anybody, then and Bilal came on twice as well. Big up to you, Bilal. And so thanks people getting involved in the comments and questions as well. And special thanks to We Deserve Better. Special thanks to Helgi as well
and Kerwin as well.
Yeah, Kerwin was good, and Bilal and Tom was very good. It made a good.
And G-Wolf, who can forget G-Wolf apart from all of us until just now?
It's hard to do a good debut. I didn't do that. Yes, I'm talking in that way.
Thanks everybody. We will do this again. Possibly it'll be a slightly different day because we're playing on the Sunday. But until then, guys, thanks for watching. We'll be live tomorrow as usual times, and we will see you guys hopefully in the chat then.